and start harassing them.
Yeah,
Or
you
like
even
when they
yeah
get
you even
shot.
got.
That's going to be a lot of lawsuits. I hope everybody in that building sues.
I
And
don't
they
know
said,
if I don't know if you can sue though tomorrow because the Supreme Court
why
ruled
can't
this
you?
because the Supreme Court ruled this
Really
legal.
can. You knock their doors down. You knock people's doors down. Had them outside in the middle of the night. You had people's kids out. Kids was crying. Kids was out. Kids was outside, half dressed, naked and shit. And then one of the guys says, "Fuck them kids." And why? Another thing. Why is ICE not required to wear body cams? Why are they? Every last law enforcement organization wears body cams, but I've never seen body cams on ICE people.
I think you already know why I say wearing body cams.
Fine. You want to wear masks and stuff. You should at least have a body cam on.
There's not gonna.
It should be working.
Because it's for that exact reason that they don't intend to hold ICE accountable. I gotta move it on though tomorrow, but yeah, you're not gonna get ICE to wear body cams under Trump's watch. That's never gonna happen.
No. Did you hear? I think a federal judge, a Trump appointee, stopped the military from coming.
Yeah, to Port, and he sent them in from California instead. They stopped him from sending from activating the Oregon's National Guard. So he just sent California National Guard into Oregon. That man knows how to finagle the law, man. He knows that man, he's like a master at loopholes.
Yeah, because he's not doing it. Somebody's telling him.
Yeah, you can only imagine what he was doing as a businessman. If he's doing all this shit from a government pulpit. As a businessman in New York, he had to be doing. I mean, when Giuliani, his friend, was mayor of New York, you gotta expect he was doing the same shit.
If they use these midterms next year, then the first thing they're going to do is impeach him, and they're going after ICE, they're going after all that. So they better hope and pray that they find some way to cheat. Because the way they're going, I don't see anybody voting.
I got thousands of MAGA that'll tell you otherwise. That MAGA is still very happy with Trump, so he'll still get a lot of votes. I gotta go tomorrow, but I appreciate you coming through, man. Thank you.
I have a good one.
You too. And I saw a poll the other day that said that if the election was held today, Trump would likely still win. I mean, certainly against Kamala Harris. I mean, look, regardless of what Trump has done, I still think there's a whole lot of Americans in this country that believe he still is a better president than Kamala Harris. So if they ran against each other today, right now, Trump would still be very competitive, if not victorious over Kamala Harris, in my opinion. Because I just think Kamala Harris herself was not a good candidate. And the left would be running now on exactly what they ran on in November on. Not running in favor of a Democrat candidate. They would be running on, we don't want Trump. And that may not be enough. They were not running and voting for Kamala. They were voting against Trump. And that's exactly what would happen again today. Anyway, looking in the comments though, this nation don't turn its heart back to its God. Wait a minute. This nation don't turn its heart back to its God. We are screwed. Read what happens to a nation that does turn its back on its God. I have no idea where you're going with that, Guerri, but I always bring up there was plenty of times in American history that we were far more religious and far more faithful to God than we are now. And me as a person of color, I would not want to go back to any of those days. During America's most religious periods, we were at our worst. So for me personally, bringing God back into America, just look, I can't ignore history. I cannot ignore history. The people who were doing that stuff, they were God-fearing people. The people who were doing that stuff were attending church every Sunday, expecting to go to heaven. All of the Confederate South were God-fearing people. So I just don't see the benefit of bringing God back. There's a lot of historical precedent in this country of how we were when we were very religious. We were incredibly oppressive to a lot of different groups of people. So I don't know if I agree with that same sentiment, but appreciate the input. She would win and people would be dancing in the streets just like when Biden won. Remember? I don't know. I think Kamala Harris would get more votes this time. I do believe that because once again, people are not voting for Kamala. They would not be voting for Kamala Harris. They would be voting against Trump. But this time, a lot of things that did not energize, a lot of the liberal fear mongering, if we want to say, a lot of the liberal fear mongering of what would happen if Trump got elected did not energize his detractors to get out and vote because a lot of it they didn't believe. They didn't believe the whole claim that Project 2025 was going to be real, or if Trump got elected, he was going to bow down to Putin, and as Kamala Harris said, eat Putin's lunch, or Putin was going to eat his lunch. People didn't believe a lot of that stuff. Now that he's in there, I mean, certainly I think even some folks on the right, my beloved MAGA, I don't think all MAGA, if let's go back a year from today, October 2024, there's a whole lot of MAGA who would never have believed, even if you paid them money, that a year from now, in October 2025, you're still going to be wondering what's in the Epstein files, and Ghislaine Maxwell is going to have been upgraded to a minimum security camp. A minimum security camp with no explanation for why she was upgraded. Her conditions in prison was upgraded so significantly. In a minimum security camp, you can get TV and shit like that. She's a serial pedophile, and they just upgraded her life to that significance. Trump was asked, would you pardon her? His response was, I haven't thought about it, but I could. A year ago, there's no way in hell you would have been able to convince anybody that supports Trump, anybody that identifies as MAGA, that stuff would have happened. Trump is going to come in there. He's going to expose all of the deep state, the crooked elites that are on the Epstein file. They're going to be brought to justice, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. That's how most MAGA would have felt a year ago. No way in hell he's going to put Ghislaine Maxwell in minimum security. Nobody would have believed that. So some folks probably would come out and vote because there are areas where Trump has not delivered. And then obviously firing federal workers. There's a whole lot of MAGA that got fired. Farmers and all of that stuff. There's a lot of MAGA in that stuff. There's a whole lot of people that voted for Trump that are now out of a job, about to lose their farm and things. So it might be more competitive with Kamala and Trump now, but I'm not sure she would beat him. Anyway, looking in the comments, where did our media go? Why have they not asked that question? Some are. I think some are asking. He's a Gemini. Of course, he's sitting it out. What does that mean? Sure did eat his lunch. In fact, during the last meeting in Alaska, Trump had our U.S. military roll out a literal red carpet for Putin. Yeah, that was embarrassing. I'll go back to the box, tap the screen, get us on up to 45,000. Let your thumbs not be lazy. We are MAGA friendly. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body on this program. You're entitled to your free speech rights here. We'll preserve it as far as we can. This is always uncensored. We've been uncensored since day one. We shall always be uncensored and always be MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, tap the screen, get those likes on up, and I'll continue on with the box. I dropped my damn hat there. Okay, eggs down, which is what the price of eggs are down, says Gary, which was going to happen, but everything is up 3 to 4 times now. I don't know. You think the price of groceries are up 3 to 4 times? I don't know about that much, but I do say that President Trump has not delivered on lowering grocery prices. He has not delivered on that. Let me go back to the box. Who is funding the National Guard while they're spread out in different states now? Probably the federal government. And I don't think the right cares about that. They're happy to see it happening. Going back to the box, Stick, the ruler. Good evening, Stick. I can come up and say the same thing about this character is saying about the left, and you don't even have any facts just to say it. I don't know what you mean, Mike. Explain that in detail, Mike. Stick, good evening.
Hey, what's going on, Tim?
Not much at all, man. Not much at all. So what do you think? Government shutdown week 1 coming to a conclusion. Now, they're not even going to meet this week, so it'll be week 2 is going to come around pretty quickly, but Should the Democrats just keep resisting, or should they work with Trump for the sake of getting the government back open?
Well, nah, they shouldn't work with Trump. They should come out with a bill that's sufficient, that works for everybody, put it on the table, if they ain't got one already, which I'm pretty sure they do, and let them know, look, this is equal all around the board. You got a little bit of what you want, I got a little bit of what I want, and we're gonna tell everybody what's in our bill versus just throwing it out there. And if it sounds good to you, and it sounds good to me, and it sounds even good to MAGA at this point, then Trump should sign it. If he want people to like him, that's what he gonna have to do. He gonna have to be that taco one more time.
But what about the notion that they're calling this a clean CR, continuing resolution, which is this happened before and the Democrats voted with it. Now, Chuck Schumer took a beating for siding with the Republicans, but nothing has changed since the last time they supported this. And now they're voting against something that they voted for the last go round. What say you?
Well, I'll just say it like this. When it comes to certain times, they're different. Trump is a totally different person, probably since I brushed my teeth. So it's like, so the whole point I'm trying to make is not so much Trump, but when it comes down to trying to make sure people are being taken care of, the Democratic Party are those people. And a lot of times our messages get crossed because there's so many messages. There's so many people that we're trying to look out for versus just one demographic.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those situations where a lot of times, whether it's a mass pew-pewing person or whatever, the right will just point the finger and not even know nothing. Just hurry up, get this off of us, get this off of me, and say it's them. So that's the narrative that we're gonna go with, and that we're gonna put it out there real fast so nobody can't say it's us. And
That didn't used to happen though. They didn't. That wasn't something. That wasn't a core tenet of the right. They didn't used to do that type of stuff. Just blame the left automatically.
Well, they do what their master and their Lord and Savior does. That's something that he does. That's something they gravitate to. Notice, just like you said a couple of callers ago, Fox don't say nothing about anything negative about Trump.
No.
But guess what? Guess what though? They have, by accident, have either showed some things or asked some questions that they might have shouldn't ask, but it was the way that they asked it. And Trump, being dumb, said exactly what he needed to say, whether it was about the Project 2025, whether it was about taking weapons first, and then we'll
He also told Sean Hannity also asked him, was he going to be a president of retribution, and he didn't answer that right either. Yeah, you're right. Fox News has tried to throw him softball questions. I mean, the same thing would happen after Charlie Kirk passed, and he was talking and he started blaming the radical left, and they were trying to get him to say something that might have been a little bit more unified. He's sitting on the couch, and he just started with the radical left is the one. So you're right. Fox News has thrown him some softballs, and he still misses them.
Well, the thing of it is, man, we need to stop playing. You too, Tim. You need to stop playing.
How am I playing?
Stop playing devil. You playing devil advocate. That's how you playing.
Give me an example.
The devil advocate on is Trump racist. Hell, fuck yeah, he's racist. There's no denying it. We don't need to ask that question anymore. The man is fucking racist, Tim. Like, I get it, you like your beloved MAGA and all that bullshit, but they don't like you, Tim. They just use your platform to get that dumbass shit that they be saying in their mouth out.
I don't know, because I get more liberals on the platform than I do MAGA statement. And it's interesting why you were saying that, accusing me of this stuff. Tommy Smalls in the comments says, take them pictures down, man, and wake up, bro. We'll embrace you. So he's kind of saying, so he has a problem with Vance and Trump behind me. But, I mean, look.
Well, listen. I don't care about, that's your house. You pay for it. right?
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
finna sound just like a Republican. That's your house. You pay for it. You pay the taxes on it. But the difference between me and the conservative, not so much the Republican, the conservative Republican and or MAGA, is they would, if that was Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and all of that, they would definitely be all in your business trying to tell you what to do. They would definitely be in your business trying to tell you what to do, and that's just the thing. It's not so much we're defending people like Ted Cruz. You know, we just need to leave pedophile, alone. You know, we need to stop messing
But let
with them.
me interrupt you to say this, because while you're talking, I always had the news on behind me on the big screen. While we were talking, I see on News Nation the ticker is that Trump intends to send 300 National Guardsmen to Chicago. He's claiming that there were 324 homicides there this year. That's not many. I'm gonna be honest with you. For a city like Chicago, that's actually pretty fucking low considering how much of the year is gone. But he's talking about sending 300 National Guardsmen to Chicago. Why do you think? Is this just to stir up trouble? What do you think the goal of this is?
Man, the goal is to do the same thing that you reported on about them going in a building and not having a warrant for no apartment, and got little kids outside. Right now, I don't think Chicago is warm. I don't think it's like 90 degrees like it is here in Florida.
It is. It actually it ain't 90, but it is unseasonably warm. We've had 80-degree temperatures. I mean, it has been unseasonably warm.
Well, now you got to ask yourself why. Is it because of Trump deregulations that global warming has kicked it in? We just had 2 storms right off the coast of Florida, South Carolina, Georgia. They were side by side. Side by side.
Well, according to Trump, this global warming, climate change stuff is a con.
There it is. And there it is. As soon as I said stop doing that damn shit, there you go. What Trump said,
but he did say that.
He said windmills are fucking the whales up. Come on, man. He tried to goddamn take a Sharpie and say the storm is over here. Come on, man.
I'm
Stop doing that shit.
just telling you what the man said. The man said this is...
You normalizing stupidity. That's what you just did. You
No,
normalizing stupidity.
I'm just saying.
And I don't even care about the stupid part, right? Because Bush wasn't that smart. You feel me?
Okay.
So we've already had stupid presidents. But my whole point I'm trying to make is Bush didn't cause the Katrina. He did sort of what Trump is doing now. He didn't have the measures. He didn't have the things in place to take care of those people. So when you have a person like that, you have mass destruction in the sense of everything implodes on itself or collapses on itself. So we don't need National Guard in a spot where there's already weapons that people ain't supposed to have. That is as a ticking time boom boom that we do not need to have.
Why you're saying it, and I do see your comment, Jermaine says it, and Trump said he wanted to nuke a hurricane. He did question that. I mean, to me, that was, you're going to call me fluffing, you're going to say, but that's a legitimate question to ask. If a hurricane is about to destroy a major American city, is it possible to drop a bomb or something in the middle of it and disperse it? I don't think that's a real bad question to ask.
All right. Let's say that shit works. For shits and giggles, let's say that shit works. What about the nuclear material that's in the air and the atmosphere? Don't you think that shit's
you might lose a couple fish. You might lose a couple fish due to radiation.
No, you're gonna lose a couple of lives.
Yeah.
Not just fish, whales, octopuses. There's so much stuff that's gonna die. Let's just be real. When you really think about it, it is stupid. I mean, because there is a lot of nuclear fallout and things like that. Not to mention hurricanes are the way the Earth releases pressure. If you stop that from happening, there will be side effects to that. If you stop that, when you think about those winds spinning and how the whole world functions as a climate, if you stop that from happening, there's going to be something else happening somewhere else on the back end for doing that. Well, Tim, again, you took me off because you went on a fluffer spade, right?
I didn't
You know,
fluff.
that's
I didn't fluff.
escapade. Yeah, you went on the fluff escapade. You tried to throw me all off when I was trying to tell you, let's stop acting like this man ain't prejudiced. Let's be real about it. From the time he got into office with this time, especially this time, he has showed you he don't like black folks. He don't like melanated people. He don't like brown people. Only people he like is white folks. Whether it was at his tables, in the casino, no brothers.
I'm going to bring up what they always. I'm going to bring what they always bring up. He was helping HBCUs.
Like okay, in the sense of money, is a B bigger than a M?
Is a billion bigger than a million? Yes.
Okay, so Joe Biden gave up billions.
Maybe Biden likes blacks more.
He maxed it out, and we wouldn't have got nothing else, and it was only at 250 million. So billions, no matter if it was 1 billion, which it wasn't, it was more of a tune. I think it was it 14 or 12, one of those.
Yeah, but well, maybe Biden liked blacks more, but that don't mean Trump hates them.
No, that means Trump ain't shit. Just like your boy out Will always say, Trump ain't shit. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And MAGA ain't shit either. One more time.
I'm not supposed to do this unless it's a super chat, but all right, I'll do it. I gotta move it on, Stick.
Hey, Tim, I'm only telling you the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts, right? And I know, again, they're your beloved MAGA, but we need to just chill on that. You know that they will call you out your name. You know that they will say you ain't one of them and you need to come on over. You don't be that dude that's online right now breakdancing for a MAGA hat. Just don't.
No. First of all, I paid for these MAGA hats. This came out of my pocket. I gotta move it on. Your ass is hitting too hard. I gotta go. Stick.
All right, Tim.
Appreciate it. Good talk, man. Good talk. You too. This is indeed a no fluffing zone. Tap the screen. Get your guy on up to about 60,000 in the likes. We'll take the next caller. Busta Rhymes caller is lost in the race baiting, says Big Boss. I wish I could have tackled that with him while he was still on. No Dumpy love black people. That's why he is getting rid of black history in museums. I don't know why Trump is trying to shave off discussions about black history. That does not look good. I'm not going to pretend like that looks good. Whether it's the Smithsonian, whether it's the horrible message he released on Juneteenth, I don't know. This is the same thing with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, where he can get Charlie Kirk did not have any problem against African Americans. He just said a bunch of crazy shit and people took it out of context. And I often do bring that up as a pushback, is that there are only 3 times where blacks are recognized throughout the year. 3 holidays or pseudo holidays or commemorations. And that is, obviously, Martin Luther King's birthday is considered a black holiday. Juneteenth, now that Joe Biden started in 2021, is considered a black holiday. And then, of course, Black History Month, which is not a holiday, but it is a time that is observed to, discuss African American history. And I bring that up, and when people say that Charlie Kirk didn't have, he wanted all those gone. He wanted every day that observes the history of African Americans to be gone. He wanted to get rid of MLK, he wanted to get rid of Black History Month, and he wanted to get rid of Juneteenth. Because people say he didn't have any problem with black people, he only preached the truth. I don't know why he wanted to do that. I don't see how America benefits. If you get rid of MLK, Juneteenth, and Black History Month, I don't see how that makes America propel forward. And I certainly don't see how it helps our black people. Looking in the comments, though, and you guys still stay in the party of 8. Don't know what that means. How are we feeling about Trump giving Argentina $20 billion to Argentina after they already took our farm sales because of Trump's tariff war? I don't know, but it ain't a whole lot of fuss being made about it. I've heard a few liberals bring it up, but the right ain't said nothing about it. They ain't said nothing about that at all. Juneteenth was just made up out of nowhere. It's divisive. I don't. How is a holiday where you get off even if you're white? How the fuck is a holiday divisive? I don't care what the holiday is. If I get it off and I get it off paid, count me in. Why would you? How could you get in a if? And that's the problem. Is a lot of people do not get any of those black holidays off paid because June MLK Day. A lot of people don't get off paid either. But if you're getting a paid day off, who cares? Why is it divisive? You don't have to observe it. Most of America does not observe Martin Luther King's birthday either. Most corporate American employees do not observe that day. If you work for the post office or the government, maybe the police. Well, police got If you work in a civil services, yeah, they probably observe those holidays. But if you work at your local Ace Hardware somewhere, they're not observing most of those days anyway. So how is it divisive? If you live in rural America somewhere, backwoods Louisiana, your kid ain't dealing with Black History Month in schools. They're not even observing that. So I don't see how it's divisive. It's pretty easy to just look the other way. They're not talking about it anyway. Don't need a whole day to support the victim mentality. And as I just said, you're not giving them that day anyway. If you believe that Juneteenth or Black History Month or Martin Luther King Day is divisive, chances are you don't honor it anyway. So it ain't divisive to you. You go to work, you go and live your life as normal, and you don't say nothing about MLK or Juneteenth. You don't even discuss it. How is it divisive to you? You're not honoring it. So I don't get why you say that. But I see in the comments, Yoruba man said slaves are indeed victims. Yeah, but they would rather the discussion about slavery be silent. They would rather we stop talking about it. In their opinion, America would move forward a lot better if we stop talking about what happened to black people. Kind of like stop talking about Epstein. Stop talking about black people. Why aren't you happy for the celebration of the emancipation of your fellow Americans? That is crazy to me. Because they didn't want it. That's why most Americans do not know when slavery officially ended. Because it wasn't something they wanted to do to begin with. It was only done to help out in regards to the Civil War. They didn't want to do it. That's why it's not known. Like somebody in the comments is saying, Juneteenth isn't real. I mean, they didn't want to do it. That's why they never commemorated it. Anyway, looking in the comments, and thank you guys that are tapping the screen, getting the likes up. Get us up to 60,000. We'll continue on with Special Agent. Good evening, Special Agent. Columbus Day shouldn't be a holiday either, but it is, says A. King. A lot of folks agree with you on that. Special Agent, good evening.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. So, government shutdown week 1. Democrats are holding out. Are the Democrats responsible for this?
Personally, I think they are. I think they should have gone ahead and voted positively on something that they voted 13 times.
How do you think Trump would have responded if they voted for him? Would he have given him credit for doing it?
Well, yeah. Already I think J.D. Vance and the Speaker of the House noticed there was only like one, maybe two Democrats that voted.
So you're saying if the government never shut down and from day one, if the Democrats had voted with Republicans to keep it open, you believe Trump would have given the Democrats credit for doing that?
Yes.
Can you name anything else he's done? He's given the Democrats credit for doing? Because as you're pointing out,
I know he recognized some of them for the Genius Act. That I did notice. But most of the time, the left don't talk about things that certain forgotten communities has forgot about or just don't think it's important.
Give me an example. What are you talking about?
Like the Genius Act. Most of the junior Democrats voted for the Genius Act. And he did recognize them at that one cryptocurrency hearing they had at the, I believe it was on Capitol Hill when they had that meeting.
Tell me what was in the Genius Act that made it so relevant.
What it made it relevant, it was for the innovation. And the problem is that a lot of people on the left just don't recognize there is a community that, wants to thrive without any harsh regulations or ignorance. We just wanted clarity, and
When you're saying without regulations, I mean, do you see Trump? I mean, Trump is talking about sending in the military to cities and things like that. If you want to operate without federal regulations and oversight, is he the guy to want to side with?
Well, all I know, Biden was in office for 4 years, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Brad Garlinghouse asked for regulations. Wall Street asked for regulations. They never passed regulations, but they did enforce certain rules that only apply to Wall Street, and that's why he said he was going to fire Gary Gensler. We got this, the Genius Act passed. That was the first regulation. Now the Clarity Act is going to happen this month. And people say, and just remember, ladies and gentlemen, in a regular world, Trump wasn't supposed to win. But there was two communities that pushed him over the edge for him to get into the White House. That was the cryptocurrency community and truck drivers. There are 190,000 non-domicile CDLs that not supposed to have CDLs driving these big ass large vehicles. That is a danger to that is a danger to our communities here in the United States.
You're saying CDL drivers got Trump elected?
Yeah, nobody looked at us. The cryptocurrency community, they voted in large. The truck drivers out here, there are 3 million truck drivers in the United States. You didn't think we were going to vote? We voted.
I think the truck drivers and the cryptocurrency market were going to vote with Trump no matter what, because certainly the crypto market, I mean, yeah, I think you're going to vote for Trump no matter what, because your chances are your interests align with him regardless. And in truck, I was an over-the-road driver myself. I used to drive for Panther, Bolt, and some of the. I can tell you for a fact, the truck driving community is overwhelmingly Republican, and they've been that way for a long time. So I don't think it's something that Trump did in recent time. They were going to vote for him no matter what.
Not really, but if you had Biden talking about building more rest areas, and we've been begging for that, that would have been okay. Things are getting some of these drivers who traveling from Mexico, driving all over in the United States, some drivers from Canada driving all over the United States. That's missed freight. Now they're starting to enforce that. The director of the transportation, the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Dunphy, I'm pretty sure you've seen what's going on. They stopped issuing non-domicile CDLs to people who are not legal residents or under the asylum. They stopping to issue out those.
I'm fine with cracking down on people who are not legally here. I don't agree with the way he treated the asylum and the TPS people though, because they were here legally, and he treated them just like somebody who ran across the border in the middle of the night. I don't like how he treated them, because a lot of them folks, he got in office, changed the law, and they suddenly became fugitives, and they're being called illegals. No, they weren't illegals. You just changed the law and made them illegal.
Agreed.
Yeah, and that's most of the people that you see on TV getting arrested.
Well, most of the people you see getting arrested, like I said, I'm not familiar with that. I stay in my lane. I just stay in what's happening into the trucking industry, which, it's hard to pull a load at a decent rate and then I just stay in my lane where it comes to the cryptocurrency because I'm trying to build decentralized apps that people can use at basically at no price.
I can't listen. I'm gonna go ahead and admit, not only plead, but admit ignorance on the cryptocurrency thing. But in regards to the trucking industry, have you seen the price per mile for loads go up a lot since Trump became president?
No, I have not. Since Trump became president, loads you can pull it at anywhere from $1.85 a mile to $2.25 a mile.
What was it averaging under Biden?
About the same. I mean, it's about the same. We just got too many foreign drivers that that don't live here, but they live, like, for instance, under the NAFTA free trade agreement. A driver from Mexico who lives in Mexico is allowed to drive into the United States, deliver his load, but from there he must drive back to Mexico. Now, if he can find a load going towards a what would you call it, a border town city, that's cool. If he can't, he got to drive empty out of the country.
Yeah.
What's happening is that they're driving into the United States, they deliver a load, and then they'll pick up another load, drive it somewhere else. Let's say from Mexico, they'll drive to Louisiana. Then Louisiana, they'll drive it up to New Jersey. New Jersey, drive it up to Washington. In Washington, they'll make their way back to Mexico. And these drivers don't get paid like we get paid.
I agree with you because I remember that happening when I was in the game a little bit. It was mainly the Russians we were complaining about. It wasn't Mexicans. It was Russians that were doing it in the expediting world. But here's what I don't like. This is what I don't like when it comes to illegal immigrants coming in the country and taking jobs or undercutting U.S. salaries. Why do we get angry with the immigrant when they cannot do that without some American paying them the money? You don't, all of them loads you're talking about, he took from Louisiana to New Jersey. You don't think the broker that gave him that load is responsible for giving it to him? We're going after okay, so where is the outcry to go after the Americans that are only doing this to line their pockets? You're not getting paid less because of the immigrants. You're getting paid less because of greedy Americans.
Well, here's where the brokers are keeping their hands off. Okay, the brokers are like, look, if they're illegal to be here, we don't know where they were coming from in the begin with. Okay, if a broker, let's say C.H. Robinson, hired gave a load to a trucking company in Mexico to go to Louisiana, he delivers. Well, what about Bear brokerage? They don't know that this guy.
Well, that ain't hard to figure out. I mean, first of all, if you're carrying my load, I need to be able to verify your insurance because you're insured to carry the load. I mean, your driver's license is from Mexico. How are you carrying loads from Louisiana to New Jersey? How are you doing internal loads in America with a Mexican license? I mean, it's pretty easy. If the brokers really wanted to stop this, they could stop it. It ain't that hard to do that. I mean, because you don't have worker rights in America. That's why you can bring a load across from Mexico to an American spot, but you can't make money in America because you don't have working rights. So you can only bring a load across the border, and you can't take one from city to city in this country. It's pretty easy if you get somebody that has all these Mexican or foreign credentials taking loads from one U.S. city to another one. Something's wrong with that. It wouldn't take but a little bit of research into that for those brokers to realize this dude is not supposed to do this, but they are lining their pockets so they don't mind looking the other way and undercutting your salary. Your problem is with American brokers, not with the driver.
No, my problem is with California issuing out 60,000 CDL licenses to people that was not supposed to get it in the first place. We can put it on the brokers. But what about states issuing out licenses? You look at Washington. Sean Duffy said there was 190,000 non-domicile CDLs issued in the United States that are active at this time.
Yeah, but the 190,000 licenses, how many of them are asylum seekers and folks with TPS status? They're there legally. Like when I first...
No. When it comes to a work permit is up to 2 years, maybe 3 years.
Okay.
Okay? Now, if you get a work permit for 3 years and you got a CDL license that doesn't expire for 5 years, you see what I'm saying?
Then the system is not doing this. I mean, simple. And by the way, the CDL license that you get that doesn't expire, then the system isn't doing its job. The simple solution is, if this person only has a 3-year work permit, don't give them a CDL license that extends past that period.
Exactly. Thank you.
But I don't think California doing what you're talking about represents the reason why your industry is hurting so bad. That ain't.
Yes, it is.
No.
Just go to the FMSCA, and they, which is the Federal Motor Carriers Safety Administration, the CSA. And look, when they audited California, now I'm not just picking up on California.
Sounds like it.
Washington right now. But nevertheless, these licenses was not supposed to be issued to these individuals. Either they're not eligible or they're not qualified. That's 190,000.
I don't, and that's where you and I disagree. I don't believe that every license they issued, or 190,000 of the licenses they issued, are to people that are not qualified. I think some of them folks were asylum and TPS people, and once Trump changed the law to make them fugitives, now they're being chalked up as people who should have never received a license, because Trump's new law means they shouldn't have one. But under the previous law, I believe a lot of them folks had a right to have a license.
No, they have a right to license, but that don't mean you have a right to have a CDL if you're not eligible or qualified. Go to the federal website.
If you got temporary protected status, or you're an asylum seeker, you often do have worker rights. So you can obtain a CDL.
Yeah, you can obtain. But if your worker permit expires, you're not supposed to be working. Am I right or wrong?
So what are you saying? 190,000 people actually are driving on CDLs that were expired?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what he said. You
Okay.
can look on there on the federal website. Most of them had expired work permits. First of all, most of them couldn't even speak English. It's been in the law since 1937. If you drive commercially, okay, from state to state, you must be 21. You have to be able to read and speak English and understand English. That's been a federal regulation from 1937.
Yeah. To me, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. But to me, we haven't had a huge issue from truck drivers in this country because they didn't speak the language. Like a whole bunch of accidents, or I get that they should speak the damn language. I'm with you on that. But to me, that's making a mountain out of a molehill. We haven't had a huge amount of problems because truck drivers can't speak English. That's just coming up because we don't like them.
Florida. What happened in Florida?
Did you hear what I just said? We haven't had a huge problem. If you want to go with the one is too many argument, that's something different. But it's not a whole bunch of...
I'm not going with that. But Florida, Arkansas, Oklahoma, inside of California where we get DOT inspected, the dude used an Apple translator. If you cannot speak or read English, how can you read the road construction sign saying no trucks, all trucks must exit? There was one truck that drove on the wrong side of the road in Memphis.
The point I'm making,
they don't report it.
you're giving me these huge numbers of how many people are driving illegally. I'm not seeing this huge amount of numbers of people having accidents and stuff because they couldn't speak the language.
Yeah, you can look it up on the Department of Transportation. I mean, if you don't think it's like do not enter or a bridge that is 12 foot high, and yet that we're running at 13
You don't
states.
need to know how to.
You think that's an accident?
You don't need to know how to speak English to know that shit. I mean, listen, if I go to Germany, they're going to measure shit in kilos and stuff. If I know I'm driving a truck that they say, because they're not going to measure it in feet, they're going to measure it in what, kilometers or whatever. If I know they don't told me the beginning of, before I started driving, my truck is so many meters high when I'm driving down the road, I can recognize numbers. This sign says that the bridge is only this many meters high. I know my truck is high. You don't need to know how to speak German to understand numbers. The same thing, hold on. The same thing you said, wait a minute. The same thing you said with it. Hold up, hang on. Let me respond to you. Let me respond to you. You also said the do not enter sign. A do not enter sign, what is it? A circle with a white line through. You don't need to read the words. You know what to stop. If you go to, you're not letting me respond to you. You're just talking. If you go to Mexico and you see a octagon that's red and it says alto in the middle, does it really need to say stop? The symbols, most of the signs, when you take your learner's permit, they don't even have words in them. Because a lot of the signs are universal. Or the railroad is represented by an X. You don't need to actually have it say railroad crossing. You know what it means already. Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, in California, there's people that speak Mandarin. See, you're thinking as an American. They don't use numbers. They use characters. I'm a Muslim. They don't use 1, 2, 3. We use characters. So if a person is from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, or even Kuwait, has never seen the number 1, 2, 3 in his life, how he's going to understand that? Second of all, do not enter. I said it 3 times. If a dude goes through a construction on the interstate, we see electronic signs says trucks do not enter. All trucks must exit. That's what happened in Memphis. There was a construction sign where a truck, because a dude only spoke Mandarin, went the wrong way on the bridge. Now, like I said, people don't talk about truck drivers. People don't talk about cryptocurrency. Just because if it's not on the news, that doesn't mean it happens. I've been out here 27 years. 27 years. There are things that are happening on these interstates that will never make the news.
I'm just going to tell you, as somebody who was an over-the-road driver myself, I remember plenty of arguments with people or people arguing about the fact that illegal immigrants driving were bringing down the price per mile. This argument that so many people that did not speak English were getting involved in accidents. And I'm talking about somebody who was in the trucking. I spent many nights at Pilot and Loves along with everybody. That was not something that was a big, and I just got out of the industry in 2020. There was not a big outcry where these drivers don't speak English and they're getting in accidents. Now, it may have been a problem at the shipper where they didn't speak the language very well, because you get down to Laredo, some of the folks that load your truck up can't speak English, and there was a barrier. But as far as drivers getting in accidents because they didn't speak the language, I never heard that being discussed much. It just wasn't coming up, nowhere near to the level you're talking about now. I'll give you the last word, but I do got to move it on.
All right. Okay. Let me ask you this, and I'll drop down. Do you think it should be the regulation is correct that if a person is driving an oversized vehicle, he should be able to recognize, read, and understand the signs, rather if it's a symbol or if it's written in English?
100% agree. Yes.
All right. Thank you, my brother. Once again, don't forget. Remember what I told you the last time. You better run for president, because even though I'm a conservative, I'm going to vote for you.
I like it. You just made everything up with that. Special Agent, appreciate you coming through. And by the way, yeah, I absolutely agree that if you're driving on U.S. roads, particularly with a heavy load, you should know how to speak the language. But just because people are driving that don't speak the language, I don't agree with making up shit like what the president or somebody's might have been doing. Just like I don't agree with rioting and looting. But that don't mean you get to say that Portland is burning to the ground. I mean, to me, you're no better than what you're complaining about when you start making up lies to make your point. And that's what President Trump has done in regards to what's going on in Portland, for instance. And by the way, tap the screen. We'll take the next call and get your boy up to 75,000. This dude is full of it. They use numbers on the road signs in the Middle East. I was surprised to hear him say that in China and in the Middle East, they don't use the numerical system. I've never heard of anybody that don't use numbers. I was really surprised to hear him say that, but I don't go to the Middle East, so I can't counter him because I wasn't for certain, but I've seen plenty of signs of, what do you call it? Our GIs when they were fighting in Iraq and fighting in Afghanistan, and they were standing beside road signs that I couldn't understand, but they had numbers on them. I've never heard anybody say they don't use numbers in the Middle East. I thought they did use numbers, but he said they don't use them in China and they do not use them in the Middle East. President Trump.
Sending the Affordable Care Act subsidies.
We want to fix it so it works. It's not working. Obamacare has been a disaster for the people, so we want to have it fixed so it works. We're going to look at that. It was amazing. Portland is burning to the ground. It's insurrectionists all over the place. It's
To me, I gotta ask, why tell an obvious lie like that? If there is a wildfire going on in America, hurricane damage, tornado damage, flooding, it's going to be all over CNN, News Nation, Fox News, Newsmax, MSNBC. They're going to cover it if Americans are suffering like that. There's no news network out there that is showing Portland burning to the ground right now. Why? I mean, listen, he's about to get in what sounds like Marine One in the background. So like I hear the engines of Marine One. You can, when you get into the aircraft, they got a monitor. You could turn on Fox News. He knew this was a lie when he was saying it, is the point I'm making. He knows this is not true. I don't believe for a second when he stated Portland is burning to the ground, he actually believed that. He knows what he is saying while he is saying it is not true. And of course, the woman who asked him the question knows it as well. She know before she put a microphone in Trump's face and asked him that question, she heard nothing about Portland burning to the ground. Why tell an obvious lie like that? Why would you tell a lie so bad like that? And then also, before I get back to the box, and thank you guys tapping the screen, get us up to 75,000. Why also make the claim or the comment he made about Obamacare, which I also believe is not true, but not as bad as saying Portland is burning to the ground.
Sending the Affordable Care Act subsidies.
We want to fix it so it works. It's not working. Obamacare has been a disaster for the people, so we want to have it fixed so it works.
They're not talking about fixing Obamacare. Trump has not proposed any bill since his first term when he talked about repealing and replacing Obamacare when John McCain gave him a thumbs down and stopped it. All he's talking about doing is getting rid of Obamacare. He hasn't. Does anybody know what President Trump's future plans are for health care? Has he discussed that in any manner at all? He's not talking about fixing Obamacare. He hasn't discussed anything he intends to do in the future going forward for health care. He's said he won't touch Medicare and Medicaid, which many people disagree with in the big, beautiful bill, but he hasn't talked about doing anything to fix Obamacare. So I don't know why he's talking about it now. I don't know why he's just like with the Portland is burning to the ground. This is two things he just stated that are real easy to fact check, real easy. I'm glad insurance will be cut, especially yours. Says I don't know why. How does that make you happy? I'm so glad another American is going to be dealing with misery. But yet you would probably be the same person that would be pissed off if somebody celebrated what happened to Charlie Kirk. But here you are. I'm glad somebody's going to lose their health care. Don't celebrate misery and then complain when somebody celebrates someone you know or care about dealing with misery. That's exactly what you just said. Let me go back to the box. He's going to give Trump care to only the white people. Yikes. I hope you're wrong. I don't know where you're saying that for, but I hope that's wrong. Gangsta Grandma, Portland is burning to the ground. What say you?
I cannot down your ugly black fucking ass. You let that fucking ratty raccoon up in this shit talking about, oh my God, they don't speak English. Do you see how special the fucking black maggots are? I wish you would have put me up there. I would have pushed the fuck back. You really did push the fuck back. You God fuck you, ratty raccoons.
Okay, I pushed back, but I'm not gonna call one of my callers a raccoon.
Did you see him? You heard him? That's drinking to uncooked protein. Now comprehend this, you motherfucking ratty raccoon, if you're still in here. They do go to school here. They do speak English and Spanish. Just because you don't hear us speaking English and they don't understand it, you may think they don't, but they do, Pookie.
What about what he said is that it's not just Hispanics, it's folks coming, Mandarin Chinese are coming in the country, they don't speak English. He mentioned folks coming from the Middle East.
You don't think they don't? They do. Just because they use their own language or they may not be able to speak it, but they understand because they have to go to school here for the CDL. They have to. You don't just go and get a CDL.
Well, they're claiming it. They're claiming that they've been able to.
They can claim a whole lot of shit. They claim that Trump has a big dick, and it's tiny.
But even if, hold on, hang on.
They claim a whole lot of shit.
But hang on, you've driven down a highway and you see the sign ahead that might say, highway closed at exit 15. If you don't speak English, those signs are not going to be covered by the CDL.
Oh my God! You know what, Tim? You are undercover fucking maggot.
How? What the hell are you talking about?
A lot of people that do not speak English. And comprehend this, dum-dums. Do you know Spanish was here before your asses was?
That ain't what we're talking about.
This ain't you don't. This isn't English. Is not all damn thing. We have all kinds of people speaking all kinds of languages. We are fucking poorly taught.
All the highway signs are in English, gangster.
It doesn't matter. They know what the fuck they're doing.
That is not true.
It's such a bigot.
This has nothing to do with bigotry. I mean,
yes, it is.
No.
You are a fucking bigot. Oh, well, they have to do this. They do it. You know why he's bitching? Because he swears up and down that they take all the things, that they're taking the job. It's the terrorists that are doing this shit. It's not because of them. It's the terrorists. The damn loans are not going to be as much because of the terrorists.
Let me ask it to you this way. If there is a sign on a highway, when you're driving down the highway, a sign above that says, wildfire exit 10, do not get off. If you can't read English, isn't that a problem?
Yeah, oh my God. Do you realize they understand it?
Not if you can't read English.
A lot of people do understand it, Tim. They do. You're just an old fat fuck that is a bigot. That I just love to suck a white tea cock. That's what it is. You love the uncooked protein. You know what I mean? You bow down. You had a Mick Buffy over here. What does it say? Oh my God, the undocumented's taking this. He's a bigot.
Let me get some. I'm going to ask you I'm going to ask you a clear question, clear as damn day. Do you support letting truck drivers drive on American roads without speaking the damn language?
They can speak.
That ain't what I asked you. That is not what I asked you.
Yes.
Why would you want
There's
that?
a lot of people that don't speak English. They understand shit. That's how dumb you fucking retards are. They have to go to school here. They have to.
Do you not see any potential risk at all by letting truck drivers drive?
I see a lot of potential risk by having a white tea man coming up in this bitch. We got white tea for tea. They're the ones got all the problem.
It's got more to blame than just the white man all the time.
They're the ones that are doing the most, Tim.
What is the white man doing that's affecting your life? What can you not do because of the white man?
People, what the hell are you talking about?
What?
We just had another mass shooting today.
Where did this happen at?
Oh my fucking goddamn God. Alabama, dipshit.
Okay, but you do realize that the average person is not going to be the victim of a mass shooting, right?
Let me tell you something, Tim. You know what? It's always the maggots blaming the black and brown community. Oh my God, they don't speak English, so they shouldn't be doing this. Motherfucker, you speak
talking about?
In the driving, you know, they be fucking up and they speak English.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are you talking about, Willis?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't understand why you would support letting a truck driver with.
Because, you know what? This is a melting pot. We don't have to all speak English. This is United States, bitch. This isn't the fucking damn Russia. We don't have to speak the same English. We don't. It's not our fucking culture. And guess what, bitch? The Spanish, Mexicans were here before your ass was. Before English was.
Do you?
Whatever how it was.
Do you not
Speak
understand?
indigenous then, bitch. How about that?
I think you just don't understand the
I understand a whole lot of shit. I'm not like you. I'm not gonna be on my hands and knees and kissing on the white man's titties and kissing on the white man's cock and saying, "Oh yes, master." Fuck that. I have chocolate on my shit.
Needed N68. Appreciate the sub. This is uncensored dialogue. This is how it works. Thank you for the sub, Needed In. Feel free to sub to the channel. I just want to.
You're a
What?
bigot. You are a fucking bigot. Nobody has to. They understand a whole lot of shit. You underestimate Mexicans. You underestimate all of the black and brown community. Just because they don't speak it, they don't understand it. I cannot speak Spanish, but you know what, bitch? I understand it.
Let me tell you
I
why.
can write Spanish. I just can't speak it because I have a speech impairment. You dip fuck.
Let me tell you why you are absolutely wrong. Fact is,
You ain't gonna tell me absolutely wrong. I can tell you a whole lot of shit about your black ass absolutely wrong with your bobbing looking ass.
as I said, let me tell you why you are absolutely wrong. As someone who used to be in the industry, that
Get out.
because of the pandemic, there was no loads going around. That's why I got out. But as somebody who was in the industry, shippers and loaders used to complain all the time about the language barrier. Some people cannot understand which dock you told them to go into because they don't speak the language. I mean, it was a complaint. I don't know about a safety on the highway complaint, but it is a big complaint in the industry.
Tell anybody else to stop it there. You know what? You guys always gotta pick on something. You guys gotta find something to pick on about black and brown people. You do. You always gotta find something. Oh, they're not speaking English. Bitchy. People that speak English, they're fucking up. We got mass unaliving, the white man doing that. Right? Grapey, the white man doing that.
And Joe Shalom says, Tim, you can't tell anyone why they're wrong. I disagree with you, Joe. I disagree with you.
You can't, because bitch, you're wrong. Always. You're always fluffy. You're always on your knees, taking it up the ass with the white man. What the fuck is wrong with you? You always got something. You always complain about something. Oh, I got pushed back on this. Oh my goodness. And this. Look, go kiss the white man's ass and see how far you fucking get. You'll be in a fucking goddamn fucking tree. And I'm so sick of you guys. I'm so sick of the black maggots. And I'm so sick of the brown maggots. And now look what the fuck we're in. And I hear that bitch was worried about the little fucking ratty raccoon. Oh, they're just taking everything. They're taking the loads and stuff. No, they're not. You're probably a pissy ass fucking driver.
I think that you only hear what you want to hear.
You know what? That isn't even the biggest problem. What the biggest problem is, and I heard a lot of truckers, the loads are not paying good right now. Why is it the loads not paying good right now? Because the tariffs are up their fucking ass.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Somebody who used to drive, the loads wasn't paying good when I was in. There's a lot of greed in the industry. It ain't just that it ain't got.
A new career then. And you know what? FAFO, fucking damn dip bucks, because he took your tax shit away from them.
Well, that's why I got out of the industry because it wasn't paying enough, at least from my standpoint. But I just you and I disagree about putting people on the road that don't speak the damn language.
This isn't our language. You know, English isn't the big thing.
Gangsta Grandma, hold on. All the signs are in English. When you get
They know what it is. For the love of fucking
you
God.
interrupted me, but
Can you fucking put your black tape back on? Can you quit drinking the fucking bleach and the cyanide because your ass is losing your brain cells, you dumb ass. They understand the signs, you dumb.
Why
You're
you?
an emotional creature. They understand because they have to go to school here. You know, in California, They are the strictest.
While
They gotta know everything.
while you were so busy interrupting me, what I was about to say
I
is,
can't deal with you.
once you get off the highway, not only are all the street signs in English that you can't understand, but then when you get on the radio and start talking to your shipper where you got to make the unload, they're talking to you on the CB in English too. You don't understand any of that. You're not just gonna know what that shit means if you don't speak the language.
I understand it. They just can't speak it. Like me, okay?
You understand Spanish, but you can't speak it. I think she may have had a call.
Speak Spanish and then speak it right back to them.
What
I mean, it goes both ways, dum-dum.
what you're saying makes no
I
sense.
understand Spanish real good.
What you're saying makes
I
no
just can't
sense.
speak it.
If you cannot speak it,
You know what?
hold on.
Just say,
Think about what you're saying. Think about what you're saying. You said I can understand Spanish, but I can't speak it. So you're sitting there waiting to be unloaded. So somebody gets on the radio and says, "Truck 15, we're ready to unload you. Are you ready to meet us at Dock 5?" You understand it, but you can't tell the guy yes. You can't speak it. So that's a problem.
They can't say C. They can't say C. That's the yes in Spanish.
Your answer may
Can't say
be,
that.
your required answer may.
You know what? To get out your fucking cocked ass and learn Spanish. How about that? Like what they said. You got 4 months to learn some Spanish. Motherfuckers, we don't have to cater to the white man. What the fuck?
You think learning?
Get out your white tea ass and learn some damn Spanish. How about that? Be bilingual. How about that?
You believe that learning? You see learning English in America as catering to the white man.
Shit, I wouldn't want you to learn I wouldn't want to learn it. It was forced upon my fucking ass because I had a speech impairment. If I could, I would speak my roots, my Espanol. I would speak that.
Is it really that bad to require truck drivers to speak English to you? Is that really that
It
insulting?
is because it's not even in that code. It's like, they don't even have to do that. But you guys are making a big fucking deal about it. Because why? Because they're brown people.
How do you respond to folks?
You know what? It has had no laws about it or anything.
How do you
It's bigots like you and the last caller, you guys got a fucking problem with it. You know what? English people, the one that speaks English, they do the most wrecks. How about that?
Okay, I disagree, but before I
I bet you do.
thank you. Real quick in the comments, glitch out or whatever your name is. You asked what's the number to call in. We're currently live on TikTok. We're live on Instagram, and we are also live on X, formerly known as Twitter. If you come to any of those accounts, we'll bring you up. That's how you call in. And we don't block, ban, or censor, but we're the same name across all accounts, The Handsome Liberal, on X, Twitter, and TikTok. You can come on any of those accounts. We'll bring you right up. We're live on all of those accounts. But Gangsta Grandma, to me, I got folks in the comments saying your mindset is why the Democrats will never win another election again.
Well, let me tell you about my mindset. See, let me tell you something. I say it out. I tell the goddamn fucking truth. You know what? I'm blunt about it. I'm not one of these damn rowdy raccoons, or I'm not gonna kiss a fucking white tea man's ass, and I'm not gonna bow down. I wanna stand like it fucking is. Right now, they voted for a rapist. They voted for a fucking every goddamn thing, a fucking pedo. They voted for everything against everything that we fucking still can't believe in. They voted for it.
You have no proof. He has not been convicted of any of that. You have no proof of
You
that.
want to bet? Civilly, he got it for grape. Yes, he did.
Okay.
Civilly. That's the same thing as fucking whatchamacallit, guilty. That's the same damn thing. And guess what? And he still owes that woman fucking money.
Now, see in the comments, Plots says her time is up. Enough of this shit, says Plots. You
I
got.
bet he likes to suck on the white man cock, don't he?
He might be a white
Yes,
man.
And you know what's fucking funny as shit? You know what is so fucking funny? They voted against their own interests. Because the Democrats right now is standing their ground to save the ACA. And half the population of the maggots are on ACA.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. I see it, and you got some of my viewers passionate. Jordan says this dude's mama probably don't even claim him. Not even worth arguing with this sellout. See, you got my damn viewers calling me a sellout now.
I'm a sellout.
No, me. They're calling me a sellout.
He called me a dude. I got a bigger dick than he does.
You so
I got 12 inches and everything. I'm a dude. I got a bigger dick than he does.
you so busy interrupting that you don't realize he's on your side. He's calling me a sellout, not you.
Oh, you are a sellout. I got a bigger dick than you too. I got 12 inches, 8 inches. How much you want? Come right now, 15 minutes.
I gotta go.
I bet you do. Let me tell you something, Tim. You gotta quit being a fucking sellout. You gotta stop the bullshit. You know why? You're starting to really become a maggot. Really. You give these people a platform to spew hatred, like you let the last guest do.
What are you spewing? What are you spewing right now?
I'm giving it right back at him. What have I not said that was the truth? The white teen man is the most violent in the United States. Look it up. That's statistic. They're colonizers. Why do you think they don't have a whole month to celebrate their culture? Because they're colonizers. They steal everything. I'm not talking about all white teen people. I'm talking about the maggots. Now tell me that. And if you don't believe me, go Google and search yourself up. And go Google again. Because we had another mass shooting. And guess what it was? A maggot.
Is that true?
Yep, Alabama.
How many casualties?
I think it was 2 or 3. I don't even remember anymore.
Yep.
And I am so high. But yeah. I shit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm crossfaded. Shit. This is a crossfader situation. I gotta get high fucking with you. Because I cannot fucking with you. Because you be doing the most. You are supposed to be black. And you be drinking that bleach. And you just thinking you white. I will take your fucking black card and I will not give it back. Until you start drinking something. Drink some cocoa. Or do something.
Gangster grandma, you all good with me. You all good with me. I gotta move it on.
You know what though? Let me say one more thing. You know what?
What happened? I didn't disconnect you. I guess you dropped. We'll go ahead and move the program on. Playtown, what does that say? Playtown, come to the dark side. We have cookies, says the handsome conservative. Okay, let's get back on track. As you guys can see, Gangsta Grandma always makes me work for it, but what do I always say? We don't block, ban, or censor. When I say we're MAGA friendly, you get to speak no matter what side of the aisle you're on, without any concern of the host trying to block, ban, or censor you. There's your shining example. We do occasionally, not as often, but we do get some MAGA that occasionally come up here and they'll, try to set me straight as well. I push back the same way I do on her, but she probably goes a little further than most MAGA do. But we don't block, ban, or censor. If you like civilized dialogue, I guess we could call it that. If you like free speech, congratulations, you're in the right place. We definitely preserve free speech. Left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. Everyone gets to speak here. If you favor that, feel free to subscribe to the program if you're currently watching on YouTube. Give your boy a follow if you're currently watching on TikTok, Instagram, or forgot the other platform. We're X. If you're watching on X right now, because we're currently live on X, we're currently live on Instagram, we're currently live on TikTok and YouTube. So anyway, going back, and by the way, we're on Tim Liberals on Facebook as well. Tim Liberals, our Facebook account. We're live there as well. Anyway, look at it in the comments. I'm for MAGA. I love my country. I say no to socialism and communism. Capitalism has worked for Americans for 250 years, says Nadine. I'll say yes and no. Obviously, capitalism has worked. We're a superpower, one of the wealthiest countries on earth. But if you look at the success of the typical working American in a capitalist system, you can't tell me that the trajectory doesn't paint a concerning picture. It looks like TikTok took Gangsta Grandma down. That's what happened. I just got a notification of it. Damn, Gangsta. Damn. Anyway, but look, capitalism has worked, but if you put on the graph salaries, how far income for an average American under the capitalist system will go, how many hours a day the average American has to work to survive. Just if you graphed out what's happening to the average American working in the capitalist system, you would be able to tell, while it is working, it is failing simultaneously. It's on the down slope. It is not getting better. It's getting worse. Maybe it can be stopped, but there's a whole lot of things that an American worker in the 50s or 60s had that you don't have now, such as a pension. Capitalism got rid of your pension. Then all of a sudden you had to gamble in the stock market with a 401k, 403b, or whatever. But in the beginning, most of the businesses also contributed to your 401k. Well, more and more businesses every year do not contribute anything to their employees' 401k. So retirement is getting worse and worse as the years go on because the companies are no longer contributing hardly anything to it. I mean, there's a lot of areas that under capitalism things have gotten worse. Look at the quality of healthcare that is provided to Americans working under the capitalist system. Graph it out over the last 30 or 40 years, and you tell me that ain't getting worse. If you don't like Obamacare, take Obamacare out the picture. Go right up to the point before Obama got elected in 2008. Right at the end of the Bush administration. And you graph it from 2008, 30, 40 years back. Tell me it was not getting significantly worse. So the capitalist system is working, but it's also failing. Yeah, you turn the light on, you can see, but that 100-watt bulb is now putting out about the equivalent of a 20-watt bulb. Yeah, light is still working. I can still see it here, but you don't see as good as you used to. That's the capitalist system. It's failing for so many people. Anyway, look at it in the comments. Our kids won't have shit, let alone grandkids. Yeah, that's a good point. Is that the American dream is not what it used to be. We haven't changed the capitalist system. It's in fact, our current system is more capitalistic than it used to be. Because a lot of the social programs that protected and helped people they've been getting rid of them. So it's more capitalistic and it's not working for people. It's just not working for people. So I'm just going to say it's working, but it is also failing simultaneously. Looking in the comments though, we can't take away the Affordable Care Act. It would destroy healthcare, says Unspoken Love. Well, Trump and of course, MAGA would love to see the Affordable Care Act disappear. I don't know if they'll feel the same way if they're using it, but there's no denying there's a huge amount of support when Trump says he wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. And he did say it.
Are you open to extending the Affordable Care Act?
We want to fix it so it works. It's not working. Obamacare has been a disaster for the people, so we want to have it fixed so it works.
And he's talked about fixing it virtually nil. Have you heard him? Okay, when he says he wants to fix it, what have you said? You held in rallies and you're on TV every damn day. What have you told the people you want to do to fix Obamacare? Has anybody heard him say anything whatsoever about fixing the healthcare system? He is literally on TV every day. Does he talk about that at all? Just think about that. Anyway, continuing on with the program, the Affordable Care Act tripled the cost of health insurance. Yeah, but it probably also tripled the amount of people that are insured too. Keep in mind, before the Affordable Care Act, if you were poor and you didn't have insurance, you just didn't have insurance. We're talking about the cost. We're not talking about the human lives that may be preserved about it, unless that just doesn't matter. We only focus on the cost. Let me go back to the box. We'll go to Chris. Thank you for holding, Chris. Trump has concepts, thoughts, and prayers.
What are you talking about? Y'all all over the place, man.
What brought you on? We'll talk about what brought you on. What brought you to the program?
No, I'm just trying to see what's the subject today. I see you keep bringing up the Trump video, and that was an outright lie about Portland. That's an outright lie, and we all know that. So I don't even understand why we even entertaining that lie about Portland.
Because they're doing. We're gonna real quick, just because some people did not hear this. Only about 10 seconds. I'm gonna play, and then I'll tell you why people are listening to this.
Follow the judge's order immediately.
We're going to look at that. It was amazing. Portland is burning to the ground. It's insurrectionists all over the place. It's
Now your question is, why do people pay attention to that? Because they know
It's an outright lie.
Well, I'm 100%. I'm 100% agreeing with you. It's an outright lie. But you ask, why do people even focus on it? Because they're acting. They're acting because of that lie. They're talking about sitting in the National Guard, and it's based on that lie.
Right. So don't even entertain that, Tim, is what I'm saying. Why even entertain it? You call a lie out and don't entertain questions, don't entertain excuses. Just tell them it's a lie. And then you explain to them why it's a lie. They can Google it. Go to AI. How many fires was in Portland this weekend? 0. How many fires in Portland over the weekend?
I think
just look it up. It's just an outright lie, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% agreeing with you. It's an outright lie. But if you try to tell him it's an outright lie, as that reporter that was talking to him, once she tells him you're lying, she'll never get the privilege of interviewing the president again. That's why they don't tell him.
Something's wrong with our administration.
Yeah.
When the reporters can't push back, something's wrong.
Yeah, the days of Kareem St. Pierre and Peter Doocy are gone, where Peter Doocy was always pushing back against the Biden administration, and they kept letting him come back and ask questions. Under Trump, if you push back, they're not going to invite you back anymore. They're now trying to say that your questions got to be approved by the Pentagon. So,
which is ridiculous, don't you think?
Yeah, because this is what MAGA often complained about, is that Democrats only go on left-wing networks to get softball questions, but then when Trump started doing it, it suddenly became okay, I guess.
One thing about me, Tim, Tim, if Trump is saying something that makes sense or is true, I'm down with it.
Same.
When you talking off the wall, just flat out lying, I can't deal with you. I can't deal with you.
Yeah, and by the way, real quick in the comments, Mia V says reporters are only allowed to ask written, planned questions, not discussions. That's not true. They're not only allowed to ask written, planned questions. That has never been true. I don't know where you're getting that from. But I agree with you that it's off the wall. It's a lie to the level of it can be fact checked really easy. I mean, the reporter that he told Portland was burning to the ground, I'm sure she knew that was a lie when it was coming out of his mouth, because she's thinking like, nobody just, I just came from the studio. Nobody said anything about Portland's on fire. I mean, so she knew it was a lie when he told it to her.
So you think he just talking to him and just saying, he just spitting out garbage, and he know they ain't gonna push back. He know his people listening.
I think what you said. I think both of the. I think you said. I agree with both of what you just said. First, he's just talking and spitting out a lie. Yes, and second, because his people ain't gonna push back. Also, if Trump says something is happening, one of the great attributes that Trump has is that MAGA is not going to require proof of anything he says. I mean, like I said, they're eating cats and dogs in Springfield. MAGA believed that instantly. They didn't need to see a single dog being ate. Just him saying it was enough. Yeah, it's probably happening. So when he says that Portland is burning to the ground at the hands of Antifa, a large portion of MAGA is going to be like, well, shit, send in the National Guard and do something about it. We like the fact that he's protecting the nation.
Which don't make sense. So, I mean, what type of place we got here in this country? What type of people we have here that's so uneducated and so naive? Ain't that kind of scary?
It absolutely can be if he's not using his powers for good, because he absolutely has far more powers than any other president in our lifetime. If he uses his powers for good, it could be a fantastic time. But if he uses his powers for evil, things could go really bad.
And don't you agree that they might be heading that way?
He's doing some things I don't agree with, such as free speech with Jimmy Kimmel and then threatening Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, because they say negative things about him on the air, but he's okay with Greg Gutfeld. Yeah, he's doing some things that I don't like.
Also, how about the Constitution? How about the Constitution, First Amendment, burning the flags, you're going to get arrested and whatnot, and everybody know you can legally burn the flag.
Yeah.
Everybody know that's freedom of speech. So why would you put that out there? I don't understand that.
Well, but see, that's
everybody knows the First Amendment, even though it's disrespectful. I wouldn't do it personally. I wouldn't do it. I think 90% of Americans would not do it. I think actually 99% of Americans would not do it. However, it is your right.
yeah. And that's I got a video
You
on
understand my point?
I got a video on YouTube and it's titled 5 Rights That You Are Likely to Lose Under Trump. And that's the first one I talked about is free speech because he's attacking free speech, which is the First Amendment from so many angles. Now, I brought up Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, but you also brought up the flag thing that he talked about making that a criminal. All of that's First Amendment. All of that stuff is your right to your freedom of speech, assembly, protest. All of that is the First Amendment, and he's attacking all of those areas. So I definitely say I gave you 5 rights, and I think there's 2 honorable mentions in there that I said that you are likely to, at the very least, have threatened under the Trump administration. But he's all over the First Amendment, even to the point where the head of the FCC is talking about if you speak negatively of him, you should lose your broadcast license. He's all over the First Amendment. Ted Cruz even had to speak out and say, no, this is a violation of the First Amendment. He's all over that.
So let me ask you this. Why do you think he's doing that, Tim?
Because he can get away with it. Because he can. You mentioned, for instance, you mentioned flag burning. You mentioned that it's disrespectful, but nevertheless covered by, in the Supreme Court ruled that it's covered by the First Amendment. But the minute Trump talked about criminalizing it, despite what the Supreme Court said, the first thing MAGA said is, yeah, it should be. They were totally okay with him taking away that right and making it a crime. I don't think I talked to any MAGA that said, no, you shouldn't be able to throw somebody in prison for burning the flag. To them, go for it.
So do you think it's possible he don't even know what the First Amendment says, or he just, he just ignoring it? What do you think? He don't know, or he ignoring it?
If nobody's going to hold you accountable, it's like driving down the street. If nobody's going to pull you over for driving on the shoulder or driving in the middle of the lane, do you really need to know where the lanes are?
Well, yeah, I see your point, but I'm just saying, what is he? Why is he doing that? And
Because he can.
It's our rights. That just don't make sense.
Because listen, Trump wants America to go in a certain direction, and if the direction he believes America should go in coincides with your rights, then maybe that right shouldn't be there. And I'm going to say, just like with MAGA, same thing with the burning of the flag. That's a right you have. They don't think that right should be there, so they were totally okay with you losing that right.
Yeah, I get that. I understand they don't think. So what they need to do is to go get Congress change that law. Then you don't need to if you got a bunch of right wingers in there that's not going to do anything. You don't need to change it. They're gonna be okay with him just doing what he wants to do. But Tim, that's impossible. You can't do that. It's the Constitution. You can't do that. I mean, you probably could, but eventually it's coming back on you with lawsuits.
Maybe.
And whatnot. You understand what I'm saying?
Not.
It's the Constitution. And I understand they got the Supreme Court, so what's Supreme Court going to redefine it? They going to redefine the First Amendment and say, oh, well, it meant this, y'all didn't read the footnotes or whatnot.
You talking about the Supreme Court we currently have in power? That could happen. Yeah, that could actually happen. They gave the men immunity. What else can't they do? No, I never thought I would live to see the day where the Supreme Court said a politician had immunity.
Which is that's insane.
So, I can see it happening. Anything's possible if they're going to do that.
So let me ask you this, Tim. So you got a lot of people come on. People got different opinions. Why you don't push back when you know? And I know, Tim, you know politics better than me, way better than me. I know you do because you told me. I'm
not a know-it-all. You may know a whole lot more than I do.
You know a lot more than me. Why you don't push back against some things you hear that you know is not true?
I do.
You let them go on and on and on. I'm like, Tim, just push back.
No,
show you the facts. Tell them to show you the facts.
Actually, I do push back. I just don't push back in an angry, combative level like Gangsta Grandma. That ain't the way I do things.
No, I'm not saying in that way. All you do is just stop them in their tracks once they say something that's not true, or it could be half true, whatever, and then check them on it and tell them to present the facts. Present the facts about what you're talking about.
I do. I oftentimes tell people, well, give me your source. Jeremy was one of the first callers on the program, and he said something. I forgot what he said, but I told him I need to see his source. Show me how that's true. I don't just like if somebody were to come on the program and say that. He was trying to say that Antifa is so bad that they should be sending the National Guard in Portland right now, and I'm like, what is it based on? And no, there's no evidence. And I told him to give me your source. He claims he's going to send me something, but no, I do push back, just not to the level that somebody like Gangsta Grandma or somebody pushes back.
Yeah. I don't expect you to be angry. I expect you to be respectful. This is your show. Your show. I don't expect you to,
Well, one of the core promises of this program is no matter what your opinion is, whether we agree, whether we disagree, I don't ever talk down the guests. I don't ever want to come across as a know-it-all because I'm not. And so I like to let people speak. I can challenge you. That's my version of pushing back. I will challenge you. I'm not gonna cuss you out or call you an idiot or Listen, I leave the insulting to the president. I don't need to do that.
Right.
If you're wrong, the audience will know you're wrong. If I'm wrong, the audience will come down on me. That's how we've done it from day one. So I really haven't tried to change it from that. But some people would prefer I go Gangsta Grandma on guest.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
So what else going on today? What else going on?
Well, I do want to. This is something I played earlier, and I haven't talked about it with anybody for a while. So you might be. I want to hear your opinion on this. This is something I'm going to give you two clips. One coming from the Secretary of War, and then the next one coming from the actual Commander in Chief himself.
The past 8 months, we've gotten a good look under the hood of our officer corps. We've done our best to thoroughly assess the human terrain. We've had to make trade-offs and some difficult decisions. More of an art than a science. We have been and will continue to be judicious, but also expeditious. The new compass heading is clear. Out with the Shirellis, the McKenzies, and the Millies, and in with the Stockdales, the Schwarzkopfs, and the Pattons. More leadership changes.
Real quick, wasn't Schwarzkopf overweight too? I think Norman Schwarzkopf from the, wasn't he? Because he's talking about getting rid of fat. That dude was overweight toward the end, was he not? He's dead now, but I think he was. Anyway, I want you to hear the rest of it. It's only a few more seconds or so.
Be made of that uncertain. Not because we want to, but because we must. Once again, this is life and death. The sooner we have the right people, the sooner we can advance the right policies. Personnel is policy. But I look out at this group, and I see great Americans. Leaders who have given decades
I want you to hear what
to
he
our great
says,
republic,
this last piece.
at great sacrifice to yourselves and to your families. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign. We would thank you for your service.
Now, you hear him saying resign. Before I have you comment on that, I want you to hear a shorter clip from President Trump.
Walked into a room so silent before. This is very, don't laugh, you're not allowed to do that. You know what, just have a good time. And if you want to applaud, you applaud. And if you want to do anything you want, you can do anything you want. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave the room. Of course, there goes your rank, there goes your future.
So with both of them basically saying, if you leave, you're going to pay for it, at least career-wise. Do you think that they may be somewhat trying to encourage people to leave the military?
Tim, I'm going to tell you this, what that remind me of. And, I know a little bit about history. But this remind me of, I would say, the early 1930s up until mid-1940s.
We're not in Germany now, are we? You're not going to say Germany, are you?
I'm not saying no countries. I'm just telling you, this remind me of early 1930s up until about early 1940s. Different countries. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not trying to get your life, taken down. Yeah.
What about this? Give me how you're comparing it. What similarities do you see?
It's pretty obvious, Tim. What did he just say? You're gonna abide by what I say, or you can leave.
And
if you ain't with me, you're against me.
Yeah, he said,
You can leave now. If you're not following these orders, go ahead and leave.
yeah.
It ain't about the Constitution no more. It ain't about that. It is about you gonna follow my orders.
Well, but officially, that's what they're supposed to do. I mean, you join the military, you're supposed to, you do take an oath to. I mean, not an oath, but you do have to listen to the commander in chief, right?
You serve the people. You don't serve the president.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, you don't serve the president. You got to look that up too.
I got to look that up. You're right. I thought you.
You don't serve the president, man. That's not how the military work, man.
Okay, I'm not military, so I'll leave it at that. I see that.
Come on.
People. I got some folks agree and some folks are not. So I got to get somebody that's military up here. I'm moving on. But Chris,
okay.
I want to get correct.
So much time. It's just that Yeah. Thanks for bringing me up, man. And I ain't trying to be negative on your page and nothing like that.
Well, you're fine, but I'm curious to know because I don't know. I want to hear from some folks. Somebody says you don't follow unlawful orders. That's one thing, but Trump is not giving an unlawful order. He's just saying if you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave and there goes your career. So I don't think that's the unlawful part, but I'm curious. Chris?
Exactly. Yep. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Appreciate you holding too, by the way.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Anytime. All right, moving on with the program. And by the way, in the comments, Moran says, "Oh fuck! I disconnected my TikTok. Let me start it back up. I ended up disconnecting my TikTok by accident. I did not mean to do that. I hate when I do that. So when you drop the caller, it's sometimes I make a mistake. Instead of dropping the caller, I drop the whole damn program. I'll start it back up. Anyway, Moran says generals gather in their masses. Damn glasses. Generals gather in their masses just so Pete Hegseth can call them all fat asses. Hegseth is an asshat and a clown. He should give his resignation. To me it was disrespectful to tell a lot of the top brass the way to me it was very disrespectful to talk to them like that. But I had to, Chris, I made a mistake. As opposed to dropping you, I dropped the whole live. So I accidentally shut the live off, so I had to restart it. But I do see you in the comments. But to me, what Hegseth did, at the very least, is disrespectful. You don't like what I'm saying, you can quit. And then Trump comes along and he's even worse by threatening their future and things like that. Which is why I asked the question, do you think that the Trump administration is trying to provoke people to leave? I mean, you gotta assume, as young as Pete Hegseth is, and how he's basically damn near a rookie compared to the people he's talking to. I mean, he did a full tour, but compared to those folks that are in that room, most of them folks got twice as much service or more than Pete Hegseth does. So you gotta assume that they really felt like he had no business talking to them like that. So to me, at the very least, it was disrespectful. You just got to know how to talk to people, and I thought it was terrible, but that's my opinion. Materialistic goods, it's just a object. God, you can hold within your spirit. You can't hold a dollar in your soul. Yeah, but every time you go to church, they're not asking you for God. They're asking you for dollars. Trump called for war, then we go to war. Faison, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, is that you don't have a choice. Because my last guest said the military serves the people. I thought it was you serve the president. Because the National Guard right now, being deployed to California, being deployed to D.C., being deployed to Oregon, they're not answering the call of the people. That's Trump. That's Trump. Most of the people don't want that. Certainly in the city of DC, the city of Portland, the city of Los Angeles, they don't want those people there. So the National Guard that is going to those cities, they're not answering the call of the people. They're answering the call of Trump. I mean, overwhelming. Those cities are making it clear, we don't need you here. There's a few people in town They're saying, yeah, crime is bad, but go ahead and send it. But the overwhelming majority of those cities do not want the National Guard there. So I don't think it's a case of answering the call. You're answering the call to the people. You got to do what the president says. Long as it's not an illegal act, you got to do it. Same thing with the Venezuelan boats were blowing out of the water. I don't think the military probably wants to do that. You ain't got no choice. Same thing with the Iraq War. They don't, we don't think Iraq has weapons of mass destruction, or we don't think what they've done is so bad that they need to be invaded. You don't have a choice. Bush wants us to do it. You got to do it. Looking in the comments, the U.S. military oath is the oath of enlistment, a solemn promise to support and defend the U.S. Constitution, bear true faith and allegiance to it, and obey the orders of the president obey the orders of the president and officers. That sounds like what I remember. Hot Ziggly, I think this says, or whatever your name is, but that sounds accurate to what I remember, is that the U.S. military oath is the oath of enlistment, a solemn promise to support and defend the U.S. Constitution, which means you got to take orders from your officer and your president, but as long as those orders do not violate the U.S. Constitution. So you don't have to follow an illegal order. But if the order is legal, you got to follow it, whether you care, whether you like it or not, whether the people want it done or not. That sounds kind of what I remember. That's kind of what I thought I've heard, is that the U.S. military oath is the oath of enlistment, a solemn promise to support and defend the U.S. Constitution, bear true faith and allegiance to it, and obey the orders of the president and officers. The problem is, if you're receiving orders from a president that is not honoring the Constitution, that's where the problem comes, is that you're told to honor the Constitution and bear allegiance to it, but the guy giving you orders may not be allegiance to the Constitution. That could happen. That's where the problem is. And I see in the comments, Jay says this channel, or is that Joy? Joy says this channel is a joke. Joy, go ahead and state in the comments. Appreciate your input. State in the comments, how can it, tell me what can be done to improve the channel. I'd like to hear from you. Joy Rare Philly. Continuing on though, why doesn't MAGA see that? Because you can violate the Constitution in ways that people agree. Some folks believe that the Civil Rights Act was violated to adhere to the wishes of the LGBTQ and trans community. Well, if so, the liberals are favorable to that community, so they're going to be okay with it. The right is not. That's why you got Charlie Kirk saying the Civil Rights Act was, what did he say about it? It was wrong or something. I forget what his comment is. Something about he didn't agree. I'm trying to get my notes that fell on the floor, because I got all of Charlie Kirk's quotes here from so many shows we did. What did he say about the Civil Rights Act? I can't remember. I'd have to look through here, but he said something about the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. That's what he said. That's what I got written down here, and that's what he's saying, is that the Civil Rights Act was not a mistake. And I'm not going to defend Charlie Kirk, but I think what I know what he meant, and that is other groups of people that the Civil Rights Act was never meant to protect have been able to go through loopholes and use it. And he's primarily talking about the trans and the LGBTQ community, which were not very favorable to America back in the days of the Civil Rights Act. When Martin Luther King was working with, Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson and all them passed the Civil Rights Act, LGBTQ folks were not on the mind of anybody. So what he is saying is they've been able to finagle it in a way that they can now use it. So he's thinking it's not a mistake. What he should be saying is there are loopholes in it, and he don't like who can use those loopholes. He's anti-LGBTQ. Charlie Kirk was anti-LGBTQ. But looking in the comments, to remind humans they're not as strong as they think, just remind them they're under one law of God. It's God stuff you keep bringing up. Remind them they're under one law of God, not man-made ones. One rule of God. Okay, all right. I don't know where to go with that. And I agree with you, Eden. You said Charlie Kirk meant what he said. I do believe he meant what he said. He said that the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. But then when he was questioned on it in subsequent debates, He started saying, just like Trump said, I want a total and complete ban on all Muslims entering America. And then when people started pointing out, some of our allies and NATO members are Muslim, then he finagled in and changed the word. No, I just mean, state sponsors of terror. No, he meant what he said, just like Charlie Kirk meant what he said. He really meant the Civil Rights Act was a mistake in conjunction with black people and Hispanics and women and all of them. But when given a second chance to clear it up, realizing how bad that looked, he limited it down to the loophole. Same thing Trump did. All of a sudden, Trump said, no, I kind of just meant Syria, Iraq, Iran. But no, you said total and complete ban on all Muslims. So sometimes you get caught and you have to come back and correct yourself. We need a ban on all the broke and homeless people next. Sounds really good until you happen to be one of them, and then you won't like that. Yes, you don't have to comply to Trump, nor did I when the mandates came down under Biden. Well, you were in a position, David, where you didn't have to comply. If you were in the military or if you were in the federal government somewhere and you wanted to keep your job, you would have either complied or you would have lost your job. The same way President Trump is talking to these generals now. You're either going to comply or you're going to lose your job. King Finn, good evening. Welcome to the program. The subject at hand is God's. Why do you keep bringing up God, Sean? God.
Listen, people who don't understand what the Bible is, they keep thinking, I told you the other day, man, these people they live antinomian lifestyles. They believe that they don't have to abide by a moral law. That's why you got people in the comments saying, oh, I can't wait till we lock up all the homeless people and all the broke people too, because they don't understand that after they come for the Mexicans, then they're going to come for the black people. They don't care until it's them. There was like a saying back in the day, I heard a pastor say, oh yeah, I sat back and I watched, I watched people come for the Jewish people. And I sat back and I watched them come for the Kurdish people. And I sat back and I watched them come for the Christians. And I sat back and watched them come for the Catholic people until they got to them.
And there was nobody to fight. Yeah, he said when they came for me, there was nobody left to fight for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember that.
You don't care until it's on your doorstep. And the people that are in MAGA, the bunch of fucking sheep that they are, come on, man. They're not going to give a damn until they come to them. Until they're the last race of people, black and white, because there's damn sure a bunch of blaga, which completely fucking confuses me, but I'm not even going to go there, because that shit makes me throw up in my mouth when I think about it. And Latinx people who are MAGA too. It's not going to matter until he tell y'all that he don't like y'all. He already did it when he said that shit about the Epstein files. This dude does not care. He's for the top 1%. And guess what? When they become broke, he ain't gonna be for them neither. Damn. Period.
So you basically saying that President Trump is all for self?
Man, President Trump been all for self. And I hate that I even have to call that orange shit stain a president, because he really ain't. There's nothing about him that's presidential. Name something.
Yeah, I can name something pretty quick. 77 million votes. He's president.
Man, I don't give a
There's a difference between being president and being presidential. I'll agree he's not presidential, but he is president.
I'm not gangsta grandma, but you've been fluffing your
How? Tell me what? What am I doing wrong? What the hell am I doing wrong?
That dude that came in here with that bullshit about being a trucker and people can't speak the language. That motherfucker was mad because his crypto failed. Get your goof ass up out of here. You know damn motherfucking well you gotta be able to read them fucking signs. And that motherfucking test is in English on a fucking video. Get your ass out of here. Then I'm gonna hold your feet back to the fire again. Dog, really? What has he done? Name the policy that he has written into law that has secured the border. Name the policy.
Well, in my opinion, as long as you secure the border, it doesn't have to be officially by a policy. The border is secure under Trump. Handsome conservative. There we go. I haven't seen a galaxy in fucking weeks. Thank you. Appreciate that. See, handsome conservative understands what I'm doing. He understands. You say name a policy that Trump has done. If he can secure the border by executive action, then the border is secure. Thank you. I mean, it's secure. And Trump has done things to secure the border via executive action.
You know, I think that's bullshit too.
You don't think the border is secure under Trump?
Fake ass health plan. How about the fake ass health plan? Where's the health plan? Is it the med beds?
I'm not gonna give him credit.
The alien take from?
Yeah, I'm not going to give Trump credit for healthcare at all. I mean, I think he did a piss poor job. I mean, he wants to get rid of Obamacare and essentially replace it with nothing. So no, I'm not giving him credit for healthcare at all because I think the big beautiful bill has even been anti-healthcare in this country. So that I'm not giving him credit for.
But don't you understand? He has alien technology. He's gonna cure everybody, right?
No, I think it's exactly what you said.
Remember?
Yeah.
He got alien tech called med beds. You know, it came from outer space with the aliens and the Space Force. He gonna cure everybody, right?
I think it's exactly what you said originally, is that Trump is more favorable to the 1% people who looked out for him and made great campaign donations and things like that. And a lot of them folks would be at a loss if they had to give people health care and had to put social programs in. The 1% would have to pay for a lot of that stuff. So to prevent from paying for that, they donate and they endorse people who are going to make sure they don't have to do it. And Trump is that guy.
So here's my next question. To all you dumbasses who are spouting off that Antifa shit, can you ask yourself one question? Are you okay with fascism?
They don't see it the way. And handsome conservative, I see your comment on the coin. Thank you very much for that kind of support. I do appreciate that. I haven't seen that in a minute. Thank you. But
are you okay with fascism? If you're okay with fascism, then yeah, you're good. But if you're not okay with fascism and having a fascist leader, then it's a possibility that, oh my God, you could be Antifa. Oh my God.
Well, when you ask, you did make a good point yesterday. I think it was about everybody's anti-fascism because if you're against fascism, that's what Antifa stands for. But I will say this: a lot of people claim to be for something until it happens in their favor. Like I always say, everybody is for free speech until somebody says some shit they don't want to hear, then suddenly they want to take it away. Because everybody would say they were for free speech, but then Trump says, well, flag burning should be a crime. Well, we don't like that part of free speech, so we'll give that part up. I mean, and that's the way it'll go, is that you'll get Trump will find ways to take away certain rights, and MAGA will support it. Kilbrew, thank you.
Hey, man, yo, real shit. Hey, man, Kilbrew has some real things that you need to let him up, bro. Me and Sherb had a long conversation with this brother last night, and I got to say thank you. We touched on a whole bunch of topics that actually probably would really, really, enlighten you on all of the bullshit you say you don't know when you be in that fluffing stage. You know what I'm saying? But Kilbrew, real down to earth brother, man. You need to have him up next, man. Not, whenever you feel like it. I know. Oh, there you go. Go ahead, Kilbrew. I'm gonna shut up.
The man of the hour. Okay, Kilbrew, you come highly regarded. What the hell am I getting wrong?
Well,
let me get my pen and paper out. Now, I
put it like this, man. It seemed like you acting like Obama in his first term. You want Republicans to like you, and so you try to do things that will appease them, but a lot of the stuff is just, it don't make sense. Like I was telling King last night, that when you let these Republicans, particularly MAGA, that comes up, it's like they have to be like, remember when Obama had the correspondent dinner and he had that guy, Luther, his anger translator or whatever, it's like that's what they are for Trump. Trump says something, these guys got to come up here and tell you exactly what he meant. Don't believe your lying ears. Yeah. Believe what they're saying.
That part I do agree with. That part, and by the way, Sirius Chosen, thank you for that super chat. I will say that I never liked this whole notion of you're taking them out of context or he's just telling a joke. Anytime somebody's saying that about Trump is because he's done something wrong and they don't want to admit he's done something wrong. Because when Biden said, vote for me or you ain't black, the liberals did not say, no, you got to hear the whole speech. Or when Obama told Joe the plumber, sometimes you got to spread the wealth around. Nobody said, well, no, you got to hear it. You got to hear it all in context. Remember Beto O'Rourke, you're damn right we're going to take away your AR. No, well, you need to hear the whole speech. All of a sudden, when it comes to Trump or even Charlie Kirk as of recent, you got to hear 20 minutes of speeches to understand these people. I never bought into that.
Yeah, well, like I said, my thing is that when these guys come up like Twisted or MAGA Reacts, those guys like that, it's just like, like somehow that you
you just don't get what Trump is saying. And it's like, dude, I got eyes to see, I got ears to hear. So tell me what I'm not getting, because I do think that I have comprehension. So another thing I wanted to point out is, like, a lot of people come up and they say, look at Trump, he's racist. And you know, the thing that what I don't get that you don't understand is that look at his cabinet. Who in his cabinet is black? You see that Obama went out of his way to include women, black people, white people, you know, Asians, whatever. And it's like, but you look at this guy, and it's like everything that he's doing is against minorities, against Muslims, against just anybody that don't fit that profile of right-leaning white men.
Well, I will say, but in his first cabinet, he had Omarosa and Ben Carson. But this cabinet here, yeah, it's certainly all. I mean, well, you got what is her name? Tulsi Gabbard. What is she? She's not white, is she?
No, I think she's a native Hawaiian.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any African Americans in his cabinet. That's true. I do believe this second term, where you're hearing a lot more about DEI and lack of merit, I do believe that the Trump administration on this second go round somehow, some way does not really see black people as capable for some reason of reaching merit in a lot of areas. I mean, having lack of merit or being DEI is almost becoming synonymous from the Trump administration with being black. They're throwing this word around a lot. So that I believe that might have some reason to do with why you don't see a lot of black members of the cabinet, is because they don't really believe there's a lot of black people that could have that level of merit to reach that pinnacle of success.
Well, you know, that's what Charlie Kirk thought. That's you heard Charlie Kirk say it plenty of times.
Yeah.
Black women don't have the mental acuity to hold down the jobs they have. And this motherfucker was a college dropout.
And I'm not just throwing. I mean, I will. Somebody said Kash Patel is a coconut. I will say this also. When you look at how many members of the Biden administration, I think just about everybody black in the Biden administration, the MAGA side of the aisle was saying they don't have merit. I mean, they said the Biden Supreme Court Justice pick, Ketanji Brown, she's a DEI. She doesn't have merit. They feel the same way about Kamala Harris. I mean, like anybody he appoints that's African American, they're screaming this person lacks merit. So I really believe that they don't see the African American community as really having many people that have the intelligence to reach that level of success on their own merit.
Well, I mean, first of all, you got to look at the evidence. You know, do they have any time in the government serving in a particular field? Look at the education level, things of that nature. So I think that the picks that Biden made were a lot more. Made a lot more sense than what Trump is doing. Trump is just going out picking people who will just back whatever he says. I mean, he's basically dismantled any department that's going to hold him accountable. So it's like, my DOJ. It's not to be your DOJ. I said, because I think about it like this: when Barack Obama was president and James Comey and them decided to investigate Hillary Clinton just before the elections, Barack Obama didn't go and say, hey, don't do that, you might hurt her chances. He let the DOJ do their job, you know?
Well, I mean, let's be clear. I mean, obviously Trump is vindictive. He believes he's been wronged by a variety of liberal entities. He believes he was impeached wrongfully twice. You know, they tried to jail him with the 34 felonies. He believes he's been wronged. So his mission statement is revenge. So, yeah, of course he's going to get involved in anything that doesn't sound pro-Trump, because that's kind of his mission statement, is to go after anybody that he believes is after him.
Have you ever thought about his moniker for presidency was America First? You ever seen that? That, you know, he always come up America First, America First. What does he mean by that?
Well, first of all, he's not. Ronald Reagan ran on that as well. He's not the first to say that. I mean,
it was Reagan.
But what I'm saying is that if you go back, and Reagan could have been on this too, because I heard that he had racist views as well. But the America First is
it's a Klan saying.
Racist trope.
It's a Klan. Yeah, I used to have it. It used to be I used to have a patch right behind me that said America First, and then one of my viewers schooled me on what you're talking about, and I had to take it down because it was nasty. Once he told me where it came from, I was like, I guess in good faith, I can't leave that up there. It was bad. It was bad.
It was on the it's on the KKK coin.
Yeah, it was
so
bad.
America First, is a trope from way back then. So it's like, and his dad being a part of the Klan. So it's like, man, it's really easy to connect.
I got to correct you, though, because a lot of folks say his dad was part of the Klan, and I actually thought that was true, and I echoed it a couple times. Once again, I'm not a know-it-all. My viewers on my show correct me on a lot of shit. His dad was not part of the Klan. Trump's dad was, I think he was arrested either at a meeting or something, but there is no official evidence that his dad was ever part of the Klan.
And there's no evidence saying that he wasn't. So
oh shit, there's no evidence saying that I wasn't part of the Klan. He's not guilty until proven innocent.
But if you get caught in pictures with David Duke, I'm not gonna think that you're not in the Klan.
I've been to 2 Trump rallies. Does that make me MAGA?
I said you fluff all the time.
Maybe his dad was fluffing.
He's got to tap dance for his MAGA people.
But my
God. Like I said, all white people are not racist, obviously.
Thank you.
But what I'm saying is that when you see all the Jared Taylors, he said that the reason that he voted for Donald Trump is he said if his policies are implemented, it will slow down the dispossession of the prosperity of white people. I mean, you can go back and find.
Wait. If Trump's policies are implemented, it will slow down the prosperity of white people.
No, the dispossession of their prosperity.
Exactly.
I mean, it's pretty obvious that Trump's policies are more beneficial to the 1%, and most white people are not in that crowd. I don't think it takes a genius to realize that.
Right. Well, the thing is, he's riding their hate, not realizing that he's picking their pockets too.
Maybe we're over.
He sees the division in the country, and so it's easy for him to slide on up in there and just say, "Oh yeah, the left is this, the left is that." And mind you, I'm not a Democrat by no means. I used to lean right, but then when I saw all the people that started saying racist stuff after the election of Barack Obama, people that were in my church, I'm just like, wow, where's this coming from? So they start making me eyeball politics, and particularly Barack Obama, because they were saying that he was destroying the country and doing all this other stuff. And I just saw that what Bush had done, with the meltdown in the banks and the housing, stuff that was going on. And I'm saying, so you're saying that this guy didn't hurt the country, but this guy who's not even inaugurated yet, he's destroying the country somehow. So that's when my eyes really started to open.
Well, I'm thinking, who was it? It wasn't Mitch McConnell. Who said that they wanted to make Barack Obama a one-term president?
It was Mitch McConnell.
It was Mitch. Yeah.
Republican guys. Yeah.
The reason why I'm picturing the guy saying that, and I'm picturing Mitch McConnell freezing, and I'm thinking like that couldn't have been the same guy, because Mitch McConnell was really depreciated since then. I'm thinking like that couldn't have been the same guy. That's why I said no, it wasn't Mitch McConnell, was it? Because Mitch McConnell looks really bad now.
Mitch McConnell is the same person who blocked Obama's court.
Yep.
Mitch McConnell was the same person that said, not only are we going to make him a one-term, a lame duck, we're not going to pass anything he says to pass. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the same time, we get all the Republicans out there with, and I hate to bring it up. Actually, I don't like to bring it up. It actually gives me a hard chuckle. You got people like Ted Cruz out there talking about how about we just stop, attacking pedos.
I played that clip on the program, and even though I watched Ted Cruz say we need to stop attacking pedophiles, I still cannot believe that man said that and how MAGA is not speaking out. Why would you do that? I mean, we talk about Democrats being soft on crime. You got a sitting senator saying something like that. I don't understand why MAGA's not complaining about that.
I told you the other day his top spiritual advisor got arrested and is going to jail for 6 months. Because he was diddling a 12-year-old girl. All of this it's all lining up. You can't see that. Like when I hear people who are that far off talking about MAGA this and MAGA, I love Trump's my savior. I can only see it as you people are antinomian. You live this lifestyle. You don't have a brain, and you're obviously a sheep. Because the same people that are talking about law and order are the same people who are protecting these pedos.
But this is what I said, just like with the free speech comment, is that everybody is for something until being against it works in their benefit. And obviously right now with the Epstein stuff really threatening Trump, it is better if people would stop attacking perceived pedophiles. I mean, so what Ted Cruz is saying would likely benefit Trump. So that's why the right, if a Democrat was in there and you had, I don't know, some well-known, musician or rapper or something that was accused of pedophilia, or some liberal politician, they would be going ape shit if a Democrat got up there and said, stop attacking pedophiles. But it's what Ted Cruz is saying is working on their behalf, which is why they're not complaining about it.
Again, I'm going to propose to you, it shouldn't matter if any Democrats are on that list. Skewer their ass, because I am on the side of those kids who did not need to be messed with. A child should never have to worry about that type of threat. Just like a child shouldn't have to worry about a threat coming from a damn school pew-pewer.
Well, I don't think we care.
Nobody's stopping this shit. And that's why this country is going to hell. Just like today, Alabama, 2 black kids, mass casualty event. It keeps happening. It's still happening. Don't tell me don't believe my lying eyes. When I'm steadily looking at the news, Chicago PD gets attacked by ICE. Bear spray. Attacks another young lady. Now the young lady wasn't right. She had a submachine. She has a pew pew running down the street.
What does she think? What is she living out her trying to? She gonna bring a pew pew event to a protest featuring ICE? What is she trying to do? Live out her Kyle Rittenhouse fantasies or something?
I don't know what she was trying to do, but I'm not saying that part is right. What I'm saying is maybe ICE shouldn't be doing what they're doing. And another part of that story about the complex the other night is we're not even going to talk about the fact of the conditions of that building, because you do know there's some underlying information about that too. So not only was those South Shore apartments kicked in like that and destroyed before those people could even get out of jail, before they were released, they were moving companies on site, pulling all of this stuff out. Now the trick to that is that building is owned by another young lady who actually doesn't even live in Chicago. She lives in Wisconsin, and the state, the county, Cook County, told her, hey, you need to fix this stuff, because she's been getting complaints about the structure of the foundation of that building, and she's been getting violations for codes. So what happened is they want to turn that over to, I think it's called like a city, what is the word? It's a city, a person who takes over the complex, or somebody who wants to sell it. So in order for her to get through with that, right now with the stories, they believe that she reported that she had illegals in that building, and ICE ran in there to clear everybody out. Look that story up. I sent it to you.
That's a hell of a tip. I will definitely look that up. You're the first person to come on the show and say that. I do got to move it on from you two gentlemen, but that's a big fucking conspiracy if what you're saying is true. That's big.
It's more than just them going to kick down doors without warrants, because that's fucked up in the first place. Them going to kick down doors without warrants and destroying property. Because who would have to take the hit on all of that destroyed property since all of those doors have been kicked down?
It's amazing what you can get out of nowadays by just calling ICE. I mean, you got some problems with your roof, hire some immigrants. And just on the last day of the work, call ICE. You won't have to pay them shit. I mean, it's amazing what you can get out. I mean, you could probably go out and grape somebody. You either gonna take this dick or you gonna get ICE. I mean, you can do a lot right now to them folks. They are extremely vulnerable, because even if they are here 100% legal, if you call ICE, it's gonna interrupt the plans.
Well, anyway, again, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I always tell you, man. Stop fluffing for these people.
All right, gentlemen. Pleasure talking to you both. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Anytime. All right, moving on with the program before I miss where I won't disconnect from TikTok. By the way, I mean, at this point, the Hispanic community is incredibly vulnerable. And I'm not just talking about folks who are here illegally. I'm talking about folks that are here legally as well. Because when you call ICE ain't making much of a distinction. If you call ICE, at the very least, that person is likely to be detained for several hours. And that might be enough time you need to do what you're trying to do. Like I said, if you don't want to pay them for a job, or you just want to get away from some of them, maybe something happened in there, whatever the case may be, you want to get them off your back. just call ICE. They gonna come looking, you know, and grab and detain and identify and shit like that. That gives you plenty of time to do whatever you need to do. I mean, they're very vulnerable right now. They're very vulnerable. I mean, you sexually assault somebody and threaten to call ICE on them. Shit, they may actually be willing to just forgive what you did to them. Eden Star, share your fact. Okay, I know what you're talking about there. The earth is flat. Okay. The handsome liberal and the ugly conservative. I don't know what you mean by that. What, and so I was mentioning earlier, some of my beloved MAGA viewers did not like this comment, and I'll go ahead and repeat it so I can tackle what your responses are in the comment section. Don't know what I just did with my shit, but what I was going to say, and by the way, follow the program if you enjoy this type of open dialogue from all sides of the aisle. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. This is an uncensored program. You don't have to be left to call in. You don't have to lean right to call in. You can be anywhere in the spectrum. Speaking of spectrum, my heart goes out to you. But anyway, we believe in free speech. So it doesn't matter where you lie. You can be critical of anybody in the program, including yours truly. If you enjoy this type of dialogue, feel free to follow the program if you're currently watching on YouTube. Give us a subscription. Give us a follow if you're currently watching on X, Instagram, or TikTok. We're live on all of those platforms right now. The Handsome Liberal is the platform name, so feel free to give us a follow. Also, Tim Liberals on Facebook. If you got a Facebook account, we're live on Facebook right now as well. And if you want to call in and be a caller, Facebook, X, or TikTok. YouTube doesn't allow it. Remember this. Okay, I'm not going to go back into the God stuff, Sean. We know who's on the list. There are people who can confirm if we get them all. The girls can confirm. The girls stated themselves. Some of the victims stated. We know who was getting involved in this shit. The girls know who was on the list. But real quick, before I go to the next caller, this is a quick clip of what Ted Cruz said that I'm still shocked. Not only that he said it, but how quiet MAGA is to have one of their darlings say something this awful.
Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles? I want you to look at what happened when the National Guard went to D.C.
He just said that and skipped right over that. Why throw that in there? Why would, I mean, that is, you know, you're talking about things, hearing things out of context. For the laundry list of stuff he was running down, why is that in there? How do we become a better nation if we stop attacking pedophiles? I don't know why he threw that in there. And like I said, I don't know why MAGA is not upset that that's in there. I don't understand why MAGA's not, because I'm fairly certain that if a liberal said something like that, the right would be going apeshit.
Now, Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles? I want you to look at what happened when the National Guard went to D.C.
I don't understand that. I just don't understand why that is. Fox News, if Ted Cruz was a liberal saying that shit, this would be running all, I mean, they would be running, this is, to me, how is this any worse than defund the police or some of the crazy things they've held the left accountable for? That's pretty fucking bad. And that ain't the first time Ted Cruz said something that I personally believe is not only awful, but it's to the point of being noteworthy awful. I'm gonna see if I can give you another quick one. This is one he said in regards to what is his name? Tucker Carlson. He said something in regards to Tucker Carlson that I thought also was just, like I said, not only awful but noteworthy awful.
Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel
will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my. You pull out the phone and use the.
It's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we are commanded to support Israel. But number two,
hold on. Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what? Hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like.
Somebody in the comments says, sorry, I gotta go and watch the rest of the clip. I hope to come across this channel again in the future. Well, feel free to give me a subscription. Just do a sub and it'll recommend it to you. But here's what I want to say in regards to this. There is no way in hell a sitting senator should be stating that he is acting in a manner because it's biblically prophesied. I mean, we are sending weapons and potentially putting ourselves in the bullseye because of our defense of Israel, and we're doing it because of religion. What happened to separation of church and state? There is no way in hell a sitting senator should be quoting the Bible as to why he is acting in regards to defending another nation. I've had this. What Ted Cruz said is so controversial, in my opinion. I've actually talked to some of my MAGA friends personally about this, and I got some of the very religious ones, some of the evangelicals, they agree with him on this. They actually agree with him on this. I've talked to some evangelicals that actually do agree that God says we should support Israel. So the only reason I'm playing this is because any of you folks who may wonder why it always seems the United States backs Israel no matter what, God told them to do it. God is telling them to do it. Perfect. I mean, he's pretty much admitting it. He's not denying it. I mean, he's doing it because God is telling him to do it. It's separation of church and state be damned, but he is admitting it. Separation left in 2016 when it benefited someone that could use the willful ignorance of the religious. Yeah. And I see in the comments, Jackie says the country was founded on Judeo-Christians values, period. Not to this level. You don't go to war because of Christianity. No, not to this period.
I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it.
Those who bless Israel could be any damn thing. It could be your fucking tax money. It could be military equipment and backing of it. It could be your life, your child's life. It could mean that if Israel goes to the war, he's going to send your kid to war as well because God told him you need to bless Israel. It could be some American's life because he's trying to honor what's in the Bible.
The nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my. You pull out the phone and use the.
It's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology?
And real quick in the comments, I'm getting hammered on my right flank from my beloved MAGA owl. Somebody says, bullshit, we are a Christian nation and follow God's law. The fuck you do? You look at the history in this country. You telling me that's goddamn God's law to all of that shit we're doing? All of the oppression and murdering of people, raping folks, enslaving folks. You telling me all of that's God's law? Are you really that blind? Are you really that blind to think that America over the last 200 and some odd years was founded on Christianity and we're following God's law? You gotta be fucking kidding me. I mean, a lot of Americans will watch you starve to death if it'll save them 10 cents in tax money. They're not following God's fucking law. Somebody in the comments, I think it was King Finn or somebody, what is that word? Autonomous or whatever the hell it's called? Antimonious or whatever, when you talk about you're Christian but you don't follow anything out of the good book. And there's no way in hell you would look at America over the last 200 and some odd years and say that country that is supposedly, founded on Christianity has been following God's law. all of the different atrocities and massacres and shit, the Trail of Tears and all of that shit. That ain't God's law. Hell, what book are you reading to get that shit from? Turn the damn Bible right side up. If you're reading the Bible and you're getting that and you think you got the book upside down, something's got to be wrong. God's law. I mean, that's comedy at this point. Looking in the comments, though, I wish you ranted like this about Trump's bullshit. That is Trump's bullshit. Ain't no liberal saying nothing like that. That is Trump's bullshit. We follow God, so that is coming from the right. Yeah, it is Trump's bullshit. Anyway, been keeping score. Yeah, they are that delusional. Yeah, that's insane. Following God's law. The KKK was burning crosses. They were religious. That's God's law, huh? Yeah, okay. All right, let me go back to the box. Craziest thing I've heard today. Miss Mo Betta, good evening. Welcome. Oh, I got Poe Bill. Poe Bill, is that what that's called, Poe Bill? Am I pronouncing that right?
Oh, yeah, that is Poe Bill.
You were determined in the comments. You were determined. Well, Tim's going to say he don't know. You typed that comment so much, I wanted to threaten you for spamming. What were you trying to say?
Who?
You. You typed the same comment about 100 times.
Yeah, because I was typing that you always be fluffing. And then you get in here and talk about Christians, like just because somebody got a Bible in their back pocket, that means they're a Christian. What is a Christian to you? You always come in here saying, I used to be a Christian, but after I heard that the slave master was a Christian, so I don't want to go to heaven with them. Just because they said they're Christian, that don't mean they're going to heaven, man. You got to follow the book.
You know some...
Just because the country was ran on Christianity, that don't mean everybody's a Christian. Just because they said they was a Christian, that don't mean they are following the law. Didn't King Flynn just tell you yesterday what they was doing? They was saying they were Christian, but they wasn't really following the law. But you continue to come in here and say, oh, I don't believe in Christianity no more because nobody is a Christian. Because what is a Christian?
I want to tell you, even what you said. Hold on, hang on. You wanna just talk, or you want me to respond to it? I'm just going to. You got more? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you when you say what is a Christian, because all of that shit was written by man. Everything you're reading was supposedly interpreted from God's words, but that stuff was English didn't exist when Jesus was around. So everything you're reading had to be interpreted by somebody. As far as I'm concerned, at this point in my life, I don't believe anything in the good book is something you should just take on face value, because it didn't come from the man himself, other than maybe the 10 Commandments. I think the 10 Commandments are probably the only thing I would feel that are something that has not really been translated and lost in translation over time. But those stories in the book, people bursting into flames and burning bushes and people living to be 900 and all that shit, I don't know if I feel confident believing any of that stuff.
But you believe Trump is, every time somebody says about Trump, you can find good in him. But you never can find anything good into the Bible. You always want to find...
I just gave you the 10 Commandments. I just gave you the 10 Commandments.
But then Trump, you say, oh yeah, I have to push back. He did do this that was good. I have to push back. But anything in the Bible, negative. All you care about right now, I believe you worship Satan. Because all you talk about is sex. All you talk about is they taking away porn out of the internet. Hey, look at that girl over there. Oh yeah, I saw her. She has some big breasts. Oh, you a pervert, man. I think you in the Epstein files, or you got some baby oil on your hand. I'm telling you, it's funny.
Well, first of all, let me make it clear.
There's some baby oil in the background on you.
Huh?
Come on. You got some baby oil back there? Look.
I got some lotion.
I know.
Let me say this. First of all, I do want to thank you, because some of the things you're bringing up, obviously, is you've been listening for quite a while, because I ain't talking about women's titties in a long time. But thank you for tuning in. But I'm going to say, when you start saying based on what I say, you think I worship Satan and all kinds of stuff like that. It's that type of commentary that has made me stray away from religion, stuff like that. Because I question the Bible, now all of a sudden I'm hanging around Satan and crazy stuff. To me, that sounds like you're speaking in tongues or something. I don't know what to do with that. That sounds crazy.
You want to say Satan might be a Rastafarian smoking a blunt, telling everybody, I say, I listen to you, dog. You the one said it. you the one said when you were young, you had a VCR and all you did was sit in your room and watch porn.
Yeah.
You the one said all this stuff.
I don't do that. Well, first of all, you're taking it to the extreme. When I was a kid, I did own a VCR and I had my own little porn collection, but I also watched regular movies too. When I was 14, and I'm talking between the ages of like 16, 17 years old. I wasn't like 5. So I was like 16 years old. I had my own. I had a few tapes. You know, you go to in Chicago. We had a place called Jewtown, Maxwell Street or whatever. The guys would sell you bootleg porn. I purchased a few of them. Yeah, I had a few of them. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see wondering why the right is trying to take porn away as being something that makes me favoring Satan or whatever you're talking about. To me, I don't like that far right Christianity stuff you're defending right now.
I'm just telling you what you say, man. Like you say, hey, Donald Trump is all right now. If he can give me a job at his party, I'll go. King Flynn like, come on, dog. You really go and hang out with Trump? You like, yeah, I'm pretty sure all that money he making, some gonna drip off on me. I don't know what you.
I did say that. I said
all money ain't good money, buddy, but you still chasing the dollar.
I have said that as well. All money ain't good money, but I did say that, you know, there's so much money orbiting around Trump that if you just hang around him, money gonna rub off on you. And I did say that. Listen, if he offered me a job paying me a ton of money, now I'm not gonna go join ICE. Depends on what the fucking job is. But if he offered,
no, you probably would cover your face up and body slam a couple kids for some money, man.
Well, you already said you think I'm worshiping Satan, so there ain't nothing I would do in your eyes.
You said it.
No,
You said you gotta go to hell and hang out with Satan instead of hang out with the Klan or with the slave master.
And I still say that.
Y'all trying to make Satan feel like he look like a bad guy. He could be a Rastafarian chilling with dreads.
Well, some of that was in comedy. Here's what I said. I said the way they painted Jesus to be a white man with blue eyes, when we know that he probably was at least olive skinned or darker. I said, for all we know, consider how much they disliked and hated people of color. For all we know, they could have just lied and said that Satan was a bad guy because he just happened to be black. Some of that was comical. I wouldn't mean for you to take that shit literally. That was said in comedy. There was a bunch of LOLs when I said that. I didn't know somebody was.
Trump. Now you act like the Trump supporter. It was a joke.
It was
comedy.
Okay.
We supposed to laugh when he put a Mexican hat on that guy and play the music in the background. It was a joke.
You watch the show a lot, and most of my liberals don't even agree with some of the stuff. Some of the stuff you're saying is pretty out there, but.
I watch the show every day, man. I'm bored at work.
I appreciate that. Listen,
I'm looking for you.
Well, listen, you know what I always say. You can be critical. You can criticize me anytime. I appreciate the support, man. It don't matter that we don't agree on shit. But what I was saying in regards to the heaven comment you made is I said if people like General Lee and Stonewall Jackson and those Confederates can treat African Americans the way they did and still get into heaven, I said, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go hang out with them in the afterlife. I'd rather go down the hill. Fuck it. Maybe it's a party down there. That's exactly what I said. And I still stand by that.
The little time you said in church, I know you heard they said the road to heaven is a narrow road. So everybody ain't going to heaven. You know, people come in here. Hey, I like Gangsta Grandma a little bit. She get a little outrageous, but I like when she push back on you. But she says she's a Christian. Do you think she's a Christian? Do you think she going to heaven the way she come at you and the way the language she use?
I don't believe.
If you growed up in church and you saw a real Christian, them old ladies with that nasty candy nail purse didn't talk like that.
Yeah, see, to me, your Christian views sound like they pretty far right, because I don't believe you're going to get condemned to hell for speech. If you cuss a lot, I don't think God's going to deny you access to the kingdom of hell because you cuss a lot. That's far right. That's far right Christianity to me. To me, it's based on your actions.
What does the Bible say?
Tell
You're
me.
supposed to be like God. You're supposed to carry yourself as you're supposed to follow Jesus Christ. You're supposed to be like him. I don't think Jesus running around cussing everybody out.
Well, shit, based on that case, I don't think anybody's getting in heaven. We all do something.
It's a narrow road.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, because the way I see stuff with all of these massacres and atrocities that I'm reading about all the time, whether it's racial stuff or whether it's the Japanese in war, which some of the stuff I read about, I'm like, it's hard to believe that we would have a deity, a God of some sort, give people free will to do all of this harm to each other and just leave it that way indefinitely. If I created a system of people, humans, they're all my children on earth, I gave them free will, at some point I would be like, man, maybe this is fucked up. Let me limit some of this. I'm not going to just let them keep killing each other to the level we have been doing that on earth for thousands of years. At some point I would really, because to me, if I look at Earth like some sort of architectural project that maybe an engineer creates, God's plan is a failure. The people are killing each other, starving each other to death, infecting each other with diseases intentionally. The whole thing is a failure. And to let that keep going to the point where, well, I got to come back and flood everybody out. Next time I got to come back with fire. At what point does he himself learn that this is never going to work if you keep giving people free will? You're going to have to keep coming back and destroying everything because they're never going to get it. You either put some real limitations on them, or you just have to understand that as long as you give them free will, they're going to keep destroying what you created. They're not all going to follow what you want to do, none of that. To me, his plan, based on what has happened, is a failure. That's the way I look at it.
Right. You remember the last time I talked to you, I told you, if you was in love with a woman and you thought she loved you until you figure out somebody paid her to love you, you wouldn't like that no more. But that's how God feels. He don't want you to. He don't want to force you to love him. He don't want you to force you to do the right thing. You should do the right thing because it is the right thing. You like watching porn. You don't want nobody to take that away from you. You done said that many times.
You and this porn thing.
We'll let you do that, but free will also let that guy molest a kid, which we know that is wrong. But that's his free will. You should be able to do what you want to do. God wants you to love.
I'm okay with letting you do what you want to do until what you want to do is something you can do to hurt other people. I don't see any God allowing somebody like Adolf or Stalin or even the Confederate South, for instance. You got to stop that. I mean, it's one thing if somebody is doing.
Stop your porn watching then. You can't say, I want to watch porn, but stop that guy.
No. Well, here's the difference, though. Here's the difference, though. Me watching porn is not affecting anybody else's life. Now, if I'm going out and
free will.
No, that ain't what I'm saying, though. What I'm saying is I'm okay with giving people free will up to the point where they start using free will to hurt other people. If you give me free will and it's only hurting me, let's say I want to do drugs or something like that. I'm okay with that. If you want to destroy your own life, give them free will to do that. But when you give him free will to destroy other people's lives, you got to put a stop to that. I mean, you can't have one guy having free will to the point where he can be responsible for 6 million Jews. That doesn't make sense.
Free will is free will, and you want it your way. You want to be able to do the negative things you want to do, but since you think that guy, what he doing is worse than yours, he shouldn't be able to do his.
It's a lot. You're trying to tell me watching porn is equivalent to the Holocaust?
I'm just trying to tell you free will.
I don't even know why these two things are in the same.
It's the choice you make. Either one, both of them is bad.
No.
But you said yours is not that bad.
You think porn is? Wait, hold on. You think porn is that bad?
No, I'm saying, but they also in the Bible, a sin is a sin. It don't matter what you do, cause like look at it like this. Somebody like Adolf, he could have did what he did, but before he died, if he would have repent and became a Christian, he could have went to heaven.
So, do you think watching porn can have you sent to hell?
I'm saying a sin is a sin.
So watching porn is a sin that can qualify you to be sent to hell.
I can't say
You don't want to answer that question, do you?
I'm not Jesus. Because, like I said, a sin is a sin, and if you be forgiven for that, if you lusting after those women on that, because that would have said don't lust. Are you lusting after them women?
I don't think there's a human being that doesn't lust after somebody. I mean, look, you might be able to control it. You don't go out and grab the person and do nothing wrong to them, but I think everybody everybody knows what an attractive member of the opposite sex, or modern times the same sex. Everybody knows what an attractive person looks like.
That's a fact. A pastor told me one time it's all right to be walking towards a woman and say that's a beautiful woman, because God created a lot of beautiful things. But when that woman walk past you and you turn around and take a second look, that's when you lust. Once she pass you, you should keep it moving. But when you look back, that's when you lusted.
Yeah, I bet you, I don't even know who that pastor was, and I bet you done banged somebody. Pastors do more lusting. Yeah. They do more lusting than anybody.
Ain't nothing wrong with having sex.
So yeah, see what you're talking about, the stuff you're saying, in addition to some of the other stuff that I complain about, the racism and other atrocities. The stuff you're saying is also one reason why I've kind of gotten away from Christianity. You're pretty far to the right in terms of Christianity. I mean, you got some pretty strict views. Porn, for instance. I mean, like, I think your views on this stuff is really strict.
You always tell this is the second time I talk to you and you say that.
Yeah.
And I voted for Kamala Harris. The first time I ever voted in my life. But, you know, like, I believe, that is true. Other than Trump, if it wasn't for Trump, yeah, I would lean towards Republican.
That makes sense. I mean, you can't, there's no way in hell you're pro-choice. I can control, I have, you know, I don't say transgenders, but I have some family members who dress like the opposite sex, and I have nothing against them. We cool. Yeah, we cool. Because that's their... I don't believe you. I'm just going to say, I don't believe you.
You'll see them. We're cool. I have a nephew, a niece. Matter of fact, my daughter. We cool people. But still, I love them. They are my family. But
to you, it's just like me watching porn. They're sinning, right?
Well, that's not who they are. Yeah, they making a decision to choose to do something that I feel like is not right.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling them that, hey, you going to hell. That's their choice.
No, you're not telling them that, but you feel that. You're just not telling it to them.
That's right.
Mm. You're to the right, man.
They probably feel like some of the stuff I'm doing is wrong.
And it is for you checking off every box as opposed to why I'm getting away from Christianity. That's another one. I always say that because they always say you should. Hold on, let me explain. They always say you need to put Christianity back in schools and things like that. And my response every time is it's too judgmental. Like what you're saying, you're very judgmental. Now, you may not tell the other person, like your relatives that are LGBTQ members, but inside, you're really judgmental. You're judgmental about me watching porn. Your religion is too judgmental. It should not be in schools. The kids should not have that because they're going to be judging each other.
It should not be in school. You are correct.
Yeah. I don't think it should be. Yeah.
We salute the flag and all of that in school. None of that have nothing to do with my learning.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, though, the stuff you're saying is yet another reason why I've strayed away from religion, because it's just too judgmental, man. I mean, everybody telling each other you're going to hell and what you're doing is wrong. They all in your life and shit like that.
No, I don't tell nobody going to hell. I'm not in their life.
You told me I worship Satan, Daddy. You told me I worship Satan. I'm in tears.
Tim, you continue to say this every time you get on this. If anybody mentioned the Bible, the first thing you start saying is, I remember back in the day when I was going to church, I wanted to be a pastor. Be a pastor. Next thing I know, all this, the slave masters is using the word against us, so I don't want to go there with them. But they not going.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Like you said, if I get pulled over, I'm gonna make sure that I put my hands on the steering wheel. I'm gonna obey the law. So if you're gonna obey the law that the police officer want you to obey, why you think you shouldn't have to obey the law in the Bible? But you think people in the Bible don't have to obey the people who walk around with the Bible do not have to obey it, but they going to heaven.
Yeah, I see the comments. Team Carter see me taking notes. Yeah, he's definitely been watching the show. I like it. I appreciate you. I mean, he's definitely been listening. But I would just say this. I don't favor it anymore because I do. Here's what I don't understand. When you factor in most of the slaves that came to this country, they were not Christians when they got here. Whatever religion they had, it was beaten out of them or whatever the case may be. And they had to see God and Jesus Christ as their savior, whatever. Once they became free, I don't know why they didn't just drop that religion. Once we came to America and defeated the folks from England, once we defeated them, had a revolution and, made this become our country, for the first few years, we did not even celebrate Christmas. We got rid of everything. That's why we don't still drink tea and shit like they do. I don't know why once African Americans gained freedom that they continue keeping all of the values that they were taught by the oppressors. Why would you keep the man's religion? You know that religion was not given to you in the best interest. I mean, there's no way they're reading from this book and doing this to you. Something's got to be wrong with that. So why would you believe this religion is even valid? I don't know why they didn't get rid of it.
Hey, word from you. You said it, that where did the Bible come from? You said that the Bible came from Ethiopia. You said...
I said what?
You have said in your life that God is not white. So it had to come from Africa. It was the
We're talking about the Bible, though. We're talking about the Bible, though. The Bible was written by man. It supposedly is in the interpretation or the teachings of God, but because the Bible we read is in English, and English did not even exist at that time, we know plenty of stuff can be lost in interpretation and in translation. There's no way to know for certain, considering that was all written by man, if it doesn't have errors all over. I mean, the Bible's a pretty big book. And when you translating all this stuff,
errors, but it do point to one thing.
Well, yes.
It do point back to you need to love one another and follow the.
You can get that from the Ten Commandments. You don't need to read the Ten Commandments. Gives you what you need to be a sane, moral citizen. You don't need to read those stories in the Bible. Just the Ten Commandments alone.
The Ten Commandments should be in school. Are you saying that?
No, because I believe some of them, but thou shalt not kill. Maybe I don't even know if adultery should be in there because it's a kid. A kid don't need to know nothing about adultery. You don't need to know any more about adultery than you need. When they say a kid don't need to have LGBTQ stuff shoved down their throat. Well, why does a kid need to know about don't covet somebody else's wife? He's a kid.
What did you learn in Sunday school? Since you said you went to school, when I was in Sunday school and when my kids been in Sunday school, they were doing coloring books and they was not learning about.
Well, first of all, we learned about Adam and Eve, and we learned about the flood and
David and Goliath. You didn't learn about what's that one sexual part in when they saying
Sodom and Gomorrah.
No, the man had paws like a donkey, and he was having. We did not learn that in Sunday school.
And that's why I say the Bibles don't need to be in schools. I mean, that ain't something you need to know.
They ain't gonna teach your kids that part of the Bible. They ain't teaching that. They coloring books talking about David and Goliath. When you get of age, then you get more in depth in the Bible. But just like anything else.
Yeah.
But you try to make the Bible look horrible and bad, man.
I try to make it look.
If you're gonna talk about it, bring out the good stuff. But see, you are so stuck on that money, man. You love that dollar.
What money are you talking about?
You always say I would go work for Trump because some money gonna trickle down to me.
I would go work for Kamala Harris. What does they got to do?
You love that dollar.
I would go work for Kamala Harris. What is the point you're making?
You never talk about Kamala Harris other than she suck as a candidate. That's it. That's all you said.
She did suck as a candidate. I'm not going to disagree with that.
Can't barely talk. Or I guess I just had a Biden moment. Did you have a Donald Trump moment by keep repeating dumb stuff?
All right, I gotta go. You win with that one. That's a winning comment. I gotta move it on, Paul.
I'm gonna keep watching you, dog, cause I like it.
I appreciate it.
Keep getting down on King Fan.
Oh my God! He said, "Did you have a Donald Trump moment?" Because you keep saying dumb shit. I'll give him that. That was funny. That was funny as hell. Anyway, moving on with the program. And one thing I do want to say is thank you for the support, man. You obviously he covered a lot of ground on things I've said over a period of months, if not years. Some of the stuff he was talking about, like I haven't talked about watching porn in a long time. That hasn't come up. So he's been clearly watching in like somebody said in the comments, taking notes. Some of the stuff he talked about hasn't come up on the show in a significant period of time. Now, I do regularly talk about growing up in the church, and I have strayed away from Christianity based on things I've seen as an adult. I talk about that a lot, but the porn stuff and liking big titties and shit. Oh, that was interesting. That was good. That was real good. Anyway, let me go back to the pods. Wow. Tap the screen, folks. Get your boy on up on this beautiful Sunday evening. Wow. Jesus returns to save Israel. Jesus returns to save Israel, but to save Jews, but to save his true followers. Everyone else will perish. Okay. He was God Almighty. How can God have religion when he created it? Oh my God, I don't turn this into a sermon. Okay, maybe it's about time we wrap this up. I do appreciate the 14,000 likes. You should have pushed back. Is he married? Does he have kids? Chris, I let him talk. Yeah, I should have pushed back. He was all over me. He was handling me. I give him credit. I can't hate on the man. He's been listening. I don't think he interpreted a lot of things I said right, but he definitely had a lot of quotes. So I give him credit for that. God didn't make a man to be a woman to be a man. I could go a million directions with that. I don't think God made men to be slave masters or be oppressive there's a lot of things man is doing that God didn't make him to do. I don't think God made man to sail across the seas and tell other people how to live on their lands. It goes way beyond, you want to attack the LGBTQ shit. I mean, we do things all the time that God did not make man to do. Why stop at LGBTQ? Anyhow, That just got to be real interesting. I don't know what else to say. Real quick before I drop. Gen X, I saw you in the comments. What's going on, man?
What's up, brother?
Hanging around like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting. You know what I always say.
Hey, I'm hanging around like Hitler at the BLM meeting.
I like it. That's a little bit of creativity there. I'm not going to argue with that. What's on your mind?
Nothing, man. What are we talking about? I just tuned into you.
Okay.
My mouth feels a lot better. I'm not hurting. I had like 2 wisdom teeth pulled out. And man, my friend, I was in serious pain.
That doesn't sound good. No, I was actually about to end the show, but briefly, I was just asking, what the hell? I don't get it. He threw me off with the religion talk so much. The shutdown, we're going into week 1, and I'm asking the question, even though the Democrats, and I see you there, Miss Mobetta, I will say that with the Democrats continuing to resist, should they just bow down for the sake of opening the country up and work with President Trump?
Yes.
Even though he's insulting them, threatening them, trolling them, making awful jokes about him, does he come across as somebody who wants the other side to work with him?
They should bow down for the good of the country.
What about him? Should he stop doing that for the good of the country?
You're not going to get him to stop doing what he does.
So maybe
it's just not going to happen.
So maybe you're not going to stop getting them to do what they do.
All right, so they're just as retarded as Trump.
You voted for Trump, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So you support retards, then we're okay.
Oh yeah, well, I'm retarded. Dude, I'm the biggest retard on the planet.
Okay. So if Trump, why can't he stop trolling? Is something wrong with him? Is he mentally off? Why can't he stop doing that?
Because he's Trump, man. That's just what Trump does. He trolls. He is the goat of trolling.
But I get that. But you ever had, maybe you're out working with your dad or your mom or something like that, and I don't care if you're working on a car with them or you're washing dishes or something like that, or even in class when you're taking a test and the teacher goes, right now ain't the time for jokes. It's time to get serious. Why can't he get, I mean, the country is shut down and here he is making jokes and shit. I mean, Americans are suffering. Is he so gung-ho and so hooked on being an idiot, so to speak, that he can't act right when the country really needs him?
Now, I can answer that. Because he's got the upper hand.
The country is shut down, Gen X. It doesn't matter that he has the upper hand. The American population is losing out. That's him having the upper hand. What about the people?
I'm not suffering.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Right now, he has the upper hand, and he's not going to give that up. And I don't blame him.
I'm not asking him to give up the upper hand. I'm asking him to. I'm not asking him to
do the right thing for the American people, but he's not going to cave to the liberal agenda.
We're not asking him to give up. We're not asking him to give up the upper hand or cave to the liberal agenda. We're just asking him to stop acting like a fool.
Okay, well, what is stopping acting like a fool to you?
Well, like what's on my monitor behind me. Sending pictures out like this on his own social media account of Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero. What is the purpose of that?
Dude, that is brilliant.
But what is brilliant? How? How does any American do better or fare better with this? Tell me how this helps out any American.
What does the left do to make us laugh?
That ain't what I'm asking you. We're talking about.
No, that's exactly what you're asking. What does the left do to make us laugh?
So
laughter.
So while the country is shut down and people are not getting paid to work and things like that, your focus, as opposed to getting the country back and up and running, is laughter.
Who's suffering because of the shutdown?
All the people that are not getting paid, Gen X. You realize how many thousands of people are not getting a paycheck?
Okay, who?
All of the federal employees. You don't know this?
Again, I would ask, who?
You work for the EPA, you work for the IRS, you work for, federal employees, period.
People that they don't want in the government anyway? Who?
What is the point? I don't get what you're saying. So what, you don't care about the people that are not getting paid? Is that what you're saying? The military, somebody pointed that out? What is the point you're trying to make? They're not getting paid.
People are getting paid. The people that are important are getting paid. And those that aren't are going to get back pay. Trump did that in 2018.
You do realize everybody cannot afford to keep working indefinitely in hopes of back pay, right?
Okay, so why is the government shut down? Because the liberals want to provide health care for illegal immigrants?
Because the left and the right are not agreeing is what the government is shut down. Do you think that this right here, while they're fighting about what they can agree, you think this right here is a good idea? That's what you talk, because it brings laughter.
Do I think it's a good idea? No, absolutely not. Do I understand why? Yeah, absolutely.
Why would you do this during the time when you need the other side to work with you?
Because we're done caving to the left. We're done with that shit, dude.
So
we're done caving. We're done caving in the fucking legislature. We're done caving locally. Dude, look what's happening in Portland. They're fucking. You want to fuck around and find out? They are fucking around and finding out in Portland.
So
Antifa's getting their fucking asses whipped.
I don't think there's many Antifa in Portland, Gen X. I think that's just
Dude,
something.
there's a lot of Antifa in Portland. There's Rose City Antifa. Trust me, I know. I've been in Portland. I was a Proud Boy in Portland. I get it.
When were you in Portland?
Fucking terrorists.
When were you in Portland?
2018.
Yeah, but Portland since the George Floyd riots in 2020, Antifa has not been active in Portland at all for the last 5 years. You're going back 7 years to make a point.
Dude, what are they doing now, fucking Tim?
I want you.
What are they doing now?
I'll tell you what.
You've got hordes of Antifa in front of the fucking big ice building, throwing their fucking little smoke bombs and this and that. And guess what? DHS is fucking serving them properly.
I want you to hear this and you give me your opinion on it.
So it works. It's not working. Obamacare has been a disaster for the people. So we want to have it fixed so it works. We're going to look at that. It was amazing. Portland is burning to the ground. It's insurrectionists all over the place. It's Antifa. And yet the politicians who are petrified. Look, the politicians are afraid.
Now, he said that on October 5th. I don't know what today's date is. Is that today, October 5th or yesterday? Do you believe that Portland is burning to the ground, as he's saying?
It's not because the fucking feds are there.
So in other words, he just lied.
No, he didn't lie. He said what he said.
Is it burning to the ground or not?
No, because fucking they stopped it.
That ain't what he said. He didn't say it. He didn't say it stopped. He said it's happening.
Portland is not burning because of the efforts of the DHS and ICE.
Okay, so he sent DHS and
ICE, baby. Dun 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 dun.
Okay, so he sent ICE to Portland, and according to you, it stopped the city from burning to the ground. So even though he stopped it from burning, he's on TV lying and said it's burning anyway. Did I lose you?
No, I'm processing. I don't understand the question.
Okay, you told me that Portland is not burning to the ground because DHS and ICE is there, correct?
Yep.
He's the one that sent them there, right?
Yep.
Okay, so he sent them to the city and prevented it from burning to the ground, according to you. Yet he's on television telling people it is burning to the ground. How is that not a lie? You still processing?
How do you figure it is a lie?
You just admitted it's not burning to the ground yourself.
In front of the ICE facilities.
It's not burning. Okay, so is it burning to the ground in a different neighborhood?
That I don't know. I'm not in Portland yet.
Do you need to, if the city, wait, hold on. Gen X, if the city was.
I'm not going to Portland until next week.
Gen X, if the city was if an American city was burning to the ground, do you really think you would need to be there to know about that?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, because the fucking, the MSN, the mainstream media, won't report it.
You think
they report the bad shit is what they say.
You think?
Yeah, no.
What about Newsmax? What about Newsmax, OAN, and Fox News? Why aren't they reporting it?
Who's that?
Fox News, OAN, One American News, Newsmax. Why are they not reporting it?
Because there's nothing to report yet.
But it's burning to the ground.
Again, there's nothing to report yet.
Why is a city burning to an American city burning to the ground? Why is that not something to report?
The city's not burning to the ground yet, but it will.
That ain't what he said. I think you're making defenses for what is obviously a lie. You're admitting it's not happening. He clearly said it is, and you're trying to find some kind of way to defend clearly what he said that even you don't agree with. I mean, just your conversation shows it's a lie. You just don't want to admit it's a lie.
All right, to be fair, I'm not going to know what's going on in Portland until I get there next week.
And you're going to go in every neighborhood.
Yeah. Probably. I'm going there next week.
I heard what you were about to say.
I'm going there next week.
So why are the boys in yellow going to Portland? Are they going to set some fires?
I'm not talking for anybody but myself.
Right.
I'm going next week to make sure that they don't fucking. We're invited. We're invited by fucking by people.
You are invited by people.
Yeah.
Does any of them possess the presidential seal?
Nope, got nothing to do with that. You're not even gonna fucking lock me into a fucking no.
I don't think I need to. I think you walked into the corner yourself.
I'm going there on my own fruition to just make sure that shit fucking works out okay.
All right, Gen X, I gotta move it on. But in the words of what they say in prison, sometimes you already said too much. I think we can kind of tell what you say, even if you don't want to say it. I gotta move it on though. Thank you for coming through.
Hey Tim.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I love you.
You be good out there in Portland. I don't want to hear that once you guys got there, it suddenly started having fires all over the place.
Bro, I'll take some video for you.
Yeah, of shit burning.
Just come with us.
Fuck that. I'm not going out there. Are you crazy?
I will buy you a steak dinner, brother.
Shit, I go out there with you, I'll probably be the steak dinner. I gotta go. I gotta go. Ain't no way I'm gonna. That's horrible. And this is why Sherbert threw your ass off the panel last night. Oh, he was on the panel last night? Infinity says, remind him that this live is going to be saved. I think he knows that already. All of my lives are saved. They all go on YouTube. So, wow. I'll just say that, wow. Real quick in the comments. Let me go straight on. Wow. I'm just going to say it that way. W-O-W. Miss Mo Better. The floor is yours.
Hey, Tim.
Hey. Wow.
Your name ain't Tim tonight. Your name is Nail because you've been getting hammered.
Yeah. It's been a rough day. It's been a rough day, but you know.
You've been getting hammered. It's crazy because this is why with your early conversations, a lot of people don't get into politics or religion. Because religion is man-made. God did make religion, number one. And number two, politics, you have your own opinion.
But I mean, Miss Mo Better, I've been called everything from a socialist to a libtard to a sellout to a raccoon. I have never been called a worshiper of Satan. Damn. I mean, by one of my long-term listeners, he said I worship Satan. I'm in tears.
You worshiping Satan now,
Holy shit.
It's crazy. And then, but real quick, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? When they say, what is Trump actually doing? Like, do they know, number one, illegal immigrants cannot and do not receive any medical care, any medical insurance. And if they do get any kind of medical care, it's on an emergency basis.
Well, here's the problem. I think it is that even though illegal immigrants can't receive, health care and insurance, they can go to the emergency room, and that's
what I said.
And I don't think they want that either. If you're an illegal immigrant and you get hit by a bus or something like that, and you go walking into the emergency, I don't think they want to treat them either.
But here's the thing: they don't even want to treat people that are legal. You go to certain, and this is the whole problem. We've had more problems now with the border so-called being secure than when the border was open. Look, you having mass unalivements in Alabama today, like King Finn was saying. You how many mass unalignments that had in the last month? It had nothing to do with anybody that was here illegal.
It's a good point. That is a real good point.
And not only that, people talking about Medicaid and Medicare, do they know that this bill actually affects people who pay into their insurance? So it's going to be the question, do I pay my car payment? Do I pay my health insurance? My mortgage got to be paid. So now you having to juggle where your money is going to go. I don't care if you pay into it through your job or anything like that, any kind of secondary. Our premiums are going to go up, so how we won't, even us working folks won't even be able to afford the health insurance.
I'm going to tell you what I think the problem is, though. Ever since Trump became president, the left has been saying it's going to become Armageddon. And for the most part, in unison, the right is not seeing that. So until it actually happens, it's going to be liberal fear-mongering. I mean...
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what they do, you know. Because Trump gets up there like that with those lies. See, they're already bought into him. So it doesn't matter what he says now. They're going to take it and run with it either way. They're already his fans. They're already in his cult. You see, they don't even call him out on a lie. You see how they've been side talking? Oh, he's just joking. You show that roly-poly who wants to claim Proud Boy, but he say that Proud Boy, they can sue his ass for that shit. Because the name was trademarked. So he could fuck around and find out, Gen X. Fuck around and find out with your rotten mouth.
I don't have anything for that. I mean,
for real though, because at this point, it's not a laughing matter anymore. You got Trump talking about firing people, and then, like you said, that America First is not even about America. We can't even say that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He doesn't give a shit about American people. Period.
Yeah, I don't.
Period.
Yeah, to me, the American.
He can defeat himself.
Yeah, to me, the America First thing makes no sense whatsoever because, okay, we stopped sending money overseas. We're not sending money USAID. I mean, we're not giving the Ukrainians free weapons. We're kicking out the illegals, making sure that they're not getting universal health care, they're not getting entitlements or whatever they want to claim they were getting. Okay, when do we get around to the part where we're actually helping out Americans? Because we're denying them tuition forgiveness and minimum wage increase.
None of that. We don't get none of that.
Yeah.
None of that. And people are going to start seeing now. You see that they cut other programs where as of January 1st, now people that were filing for home improvements, like home heating systems and all of that stuff, used to get a credit for that. That no longer is in place.
What is the goal of all of this? I mean, are we being robbed or something? Is it a heist?
We are. That's pretty much it. We are being robbed. It's the oligarchy that what's his name? Bernie Sanders was talking about. The oligarchy is happening now. His next step is going to be dictatorship. This is why he's deploying his military out here. He's going to see how far he can go with the states now, just before he actually takes over completely.
Yeah, and I seen the comments.
His German descendant. His father, they're Germans.
Yeah.
Do you know how the Germans run? Do you know how they live over there? How their government and stuff works? Take a look at it. You'll see what.
Well, they're not doing what because in Germany you get universal health care. They got
how it used to. He's going in the old playbooks.
Yeah, you talking about it. Yeah, you talking about Adolf shit.
They want to call it. They want to say that we're fear mongering and stuff like that when stuff is actually happening.
Well, I don't personally understand what is the goal of cutting all of these programs and jobs and things that benefit Americans. If you're America First, why are you attacking and hurting the welfare of so many Americans? I get the illegal immigrants and overseas money, but he's done a lot of things that are anti-American finances too.
They're very anti-American. And you talk about, the money is on hold, but people are going to be in a hole so much. By the time you do get your retro pay, all of that's going to be gone too. You're going to be fighting and this is when a recession actually starts. The last 10 of the 11 recessions in this country were done by Republicans, with the exception of Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was the only Democrat that had us in a recession. Don't take my word for it. Look it up.
Can it be stopped?
I don't think it can, because now you have so many entities like the farmers and all of that stuff struggling as well. So you see, Carrie Underwood said she's tired, like the work is catching up with them because they have a farm too, and she's exhausted.
Carrie Underwood said that, and I know she probably leans right.
Yeah, I read that today.
They're gonna be.
So I was like, listen,
time to cancel her.
It's a travesty of what we're actually seeing, and for the people that don't believe it, and then they're going. And the thing is, they don't see when Trump came into office. Usually, they do take on whatever the last president or administration had, but he came in and he signed so many executive orders, you can't even tell Biden was the president.
No, yeah, it definitely looks like Trump has been president since 2016, and Biden amounts to just like a gnat on his back or something. The Biden legacy historically won't amount to anything. I mean, it will be
absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing. And he's and I stand his 10 toes down. He's trying to whitewash America. Listen, the way they treated those people in Chicago the other night, it was just it's disheartening.
Will there be others?
Kids out there with no clothes on, and these were black people. Older black people out there with zip ties on. This is 1 o'clock in the morning.
Do you think? I heard they had Black Hawk helicopters and everything over there.
Everything. They went in there like it was WW3.
Will there be others?
Oh, sure. Like I said, he's just testing the waters now, and all he got to do is get up there and bloviate like he always does. Throw out one word, and they just take it and run with it. Oh my God! Then you got Kristi Noem up there. They lied. Then he was Caroline Levitt, that little big mouth bitch. Got her up.
That's a God-fearing Christian. You can tell. Wait a minute. That's a God-fearing Christian. You can tell by the cross.
But which God? Which God do they fear?
The one Pomo is talking about. The one he said, "I'm the Satan worshiper."
I was sitting here like scratching my head, like, see, and they talk about, God said we got to take care of Israel. The Israel now that's there is not the Israel God was talking about protecting. The people that are there now are Jewish. They're not Jews. There's a whole difference. So that when I tell you that, it's such you got to go and do so much digging. Not really digging, but it's a lot of reading when it comes.
Wait a minute. Did you say they are not? Did you say they are not Jews? They're Jewish, like blackish.
They are Jewish.
I've never heard somebody say that before. They are Jewish.
They're Jewish. Yes. I'm telling you, and that's the thing. And even with the Bible, the so-called Bible that they're reading, you know how many parts of that Bible is actually missing? And when they was talking about the Bible, yes, the Bible is from Ethiopia. It is. But there are so many parts of the Bible that has been removed. They take it and highlight things that they want to, like, you know what? It might sound, I don't want people to take this the wrong way when I said we are a slave to something. We are a slave to something. Now, the thing is, they saw that and said, but when you have something as a slave, you're not supposed to treat them like a peasant. You're not supposed to treat them like peons. You're not supposed to treat them like animals. You're not supposed to do all of that stuff when it comes to that. So the slave is just the name. It's just the name. The name is attached to a person. You're supposed to treat that person as if that person was birthed by you.
Oh shit! We know that didn't happen.
Well, exactly, and that's where the bad parts came in. That's where the colonizers of this country, that's where they failed at.
But I've also heard that in addition to stuff like that, the Bible has been altered. Like I've heard somebody say that if you go back before the 1940s, homosexuality was never in the Bible, and they added that. I've heard that,
James himself was a homosexual.
What?
King James himself was a homosexual.
Yeah, so that's the point I'm making. Is they changed the Bible to get people to adhere to ways they thought they should live. I mean, is abortion written in there anywhere? Do they talk about abortion in there anywhere?
No, you don't. It's a lot of this stuff you don't see in the Bible, but they demonize this stuff, and he's right. We all do sin, but we have grace also. So, but like I said, that's a whole nother show in itself.
Yeah, and that's why I
You
said.
can't try to equate the two when you're speaking about politics, because politics is a dirty thing.
Yeah, and that's why I said I'm not a fan of forcing religion back on kids and things like. It's too judgmental. It's really.
And not only that, Tim, you have too many different religions. So are you going to put a Quran in there?
No, because what'll happen is
stuff in there. You can't do it.
No, what's going to happen is if you start saying America's a Judeo-Christian country and that's what we were founded on, you're going to probably have a simultaneous removing or banning of those other religions too. So that's what if they start putting religion back in schools, the same parents that want religion in schools are not going to want the Quran and Buddhism and Jehovah's Witness. They're going to start banning that.
What I wanted you to say to him, didn't they just arrest the pastor today for child pornography, child pedophilia?
Yeah.
Wasn't he just arrested and he worked for Trump?
Yeah.
Didn't that just yesterday, one of those?
There's a whole lot of that. There's a whole lot of sex crimes involved in religion.
Oh, come on. Listen, I don't know if you remember back when QAnon was around. They had all this stuff going. They had a whole list of people that was on that Epstein list. Oh, Oprah, you had Obama, you had Tom Hanks, you had, all kind of people QAnon had on that Epstein Island.
Yeah, it was Oprah Winfrey. It was Oprah Winfrey. It was Will Smith. It was Tom Hanks. I used to get them all the time.
All kind of people. Where's that list now? For though, and trust me, I've lost friends that were people. They were associates because evidently, if they were friends, we would still be talking. But lost people that I used to associate because they used to go hard with that QAnon stuff.
That's right. That's where our slogan came from. We go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. That's right. I mean, I used to get Q drops. I used to because I talked to MAGA. I've been talking to MAGA since Trump came down the escalator. I used to get all kinds of Q drops after the 2020 election. You know, they were going to put him back in as the 17th president. I got a viewer that used to call in all the time that said Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, and Biden have all been executed. I mean, I used to get all that stuff.
Where was they at Gitmo? Somewhere?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy stuff. And they took a lot of that stuff and ran with it.
Yeah.
They
my question I used to ask them all the time is, how many of these things do you need to not come true before you finally realize that what you get? Like, okay, on February, the military is going to arrest Nancy Pelosi and make Trump. Okay, well, it's going to happen in August now. What? Like, how many? It's like the rapture statement. Like, how many times does this not need to happen?
The thing is, Tim, because Trump used to run with QAnon. He used to run with that stuff he used to put out there. That's why he would say, "I'll release the list." Release the list, excuse me. I'll release it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then once he found out it's your name that's in there, now he said, oh, stop talking about it. Oh, the list is a hoax. Oh, just like COVID was a hoax too.
Yeah.
Because he know he was involved. Guess what? It's no longer the Epstein list, it's the Trump list.
Well, I don't think we're gonna ever get to the bottom of that. At least not for the next.
Not while there's no checks and balances, and he has that raggedy ass Supreme Court in his pocket. It's not gonna happen.
All right, Miss Mo.
Just keep talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Raggedy ass Supreme Court. I gotta move it on.
Yeah, they raggedy.
Raggedy ass Supreme Court. No, I mean it's Congress ain't gonna. Congress voted not to release that stuff too, so it's more than the Supreme Court. But
who's under Congress?
You know,
everybody in the cabinet now are his loyalists.
True.
They are loyal to him. Mike Johnson, and I wish they would have came out with his grinder. I wish they would have put that forth. You know what I'm saying? So the guy who said that he was going, he said he passed that information along. But guess what? They gonna make that go away too.
Yeah. Mike Johnson, back then they didn't want me. Now I'm gay. They all on me.
He a fuck boy too. Yeah, he a fuck boy.
All right, Miss Mobetta, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm gay. They all on me. In the comments, someone told me to Google Mr. Splackerville. You said Google Barabbas. Almost sound like Barack Obama. Barabbas refers to a character in the New Testament, a robber or rebel chosen by the crowd for release over Jesus at the Passover feast. And also to a Spanish funk and Latin rock band in the 1970s and 80s, and the 1961 film depicting the life of the biblical figure. Barabbas. I've never heard of him before. a criminal in prison in Jerusalem alongside Jesus. You learn something new every day. I had never. I'm not. Now you're above my pay grade. Your knowledge is definitely above mine. Barabbas, character in the New Testament, a robber or rebel chosen by the crowd for release over Jesus at the Passover feast. It may come up in the future. Anyway, folks, I do appreciate the. I don't know, because our first TikTok went down, so we got to be well over 100,000. So thank you, folks. Bama Bus, is that how it's pronounced? Bama Bus, Barnabas. Well, no, well, if it's pronounced Barnabas, Arletha, you said it's pronounced Barnabas, Barabbas. There's no N in it. It comes out as Barnabas. Okay, all right. That's interesting that it would be pronounced that way. He was given freedom instead of Jesus. Okay. Somebody said I saw the movie. And you're not gonna get the Epstein Files Extreme Minecraft. You're just not gonna get him until Trump is out of power. It's just not gonna happen. People today will act accordingly to what God said. There will be days where they call good and good bad. Okay. Bruce Jenner 2028. That ain't gonna happen. All right. Anyway, I do appreciate you folks tapping the screen. We didn't quite get up to what the hell happened. Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened with TikToks. Let me see if I can figure out why. To see what ends up happening. Anyway, we'll go ahead and do what we got to do. Thank you folks for tuning in. We want the list from survivors to forget Trump. Good luck with that. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Get your boy a sub if you like this open, uncensored dialogue. That's the way we do things. If you favor that, feel free to follow the program if you're watching on TikTok, Instagram, or X. We are now on X, so we're now doing shows on X, so feel free. And if you got Tim Liberals on Facebook, we're there as well. Nevertheless, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys tomorrow night. Take care.